Just kind of hung out, watched the major, absorbed a lot of that information, keep scrimming, and I think that they're a legitimate challenger for one of the major slots from this region.
I'd love to see them make it to the major.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be exciting to see like a new team from the region kind of step up and get there.
Based on what we've seen so far, I think it's going to be Spirit, VP, and Winstrike.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's between Na'Vi and Winstrike. They're the two ones who have to kind of fight for that third spot.
Okay, well, it'll definitely be interesting to see how they do match up against AS Monaco Gambit. Talking about them, since we do have a little bit more information, what has gone wrong for this squad? What has changed from Season 1 to Season 2?
Their drafts right now have just felt so clunky.
Bad?
Yeah, it's bad. There was one draft where they had like Snapfire, Treant support or something, and then it just didn't really do anything. And yeah, unfortunately for Gambit, they just haven't had got started that well. And also, you have to think their opponents to start the tournament, they've had to go from like hardest to easiest. Some other teams, they've got like the nice road, but this team, they had a bad first week and that kind of hit them, and they haven't been able to recover since. And unfortunately, DPC, you have one bad week, hits the second bad week. Now they're the teams that are like the top 4 teams. It's going to be devastating for your season.
I want to see no one on more of the win conditions. I really think that they should shift his hero archetypes to something more similar to what Miracle's able to play. And yeah, sure, Miracle's been playing a puck and such, but I want to see more Invoker, more Shadow Fiend, maybe some TA. Let the man win the game for you. A lot of Kunkka. Don't think that that's a winning combination for Gambit right now.
Do you just not believe in Dream as a hard carry? Because that is his preference in heroes anyway, is harder carries, but you just don't think he's doing it for them?
Don't think it fits the style. Seneko, I think, also plays better when he's able to go in some sort of aggressive style. It's easier to shot call as well, especially the way he always likes to be active on the map. I want more gyros. I'm not saying don't give him carries, but Gyrocopter, you know, the Juggernaut, just something that plays more active, and then no one has the ability to play something that's more of a semi-carry as well.
Juggernaut is on his list of his primary carries. Another one being Lycan was his other active hero, and sadly that hero has gone away a bit.
It's kind of back though. There was a low division game the other day. I believe it was no Bounty Hunter Khan in the Western division. He went armlet into just full right click. I think it was an Echo Saber in there as well. Satanic, BKB, that type of build. And it chomps through support. Like if you show for a second, wham, bam, you're out of there, you're dead, you're gone. So yeah, I don't mind seeing a right click Lycan come back. Will we see it today? Probably not, but that one game just gave me this like, oh, Lycan's back kind of enthusiasm. It was pretty cool.
They felt the wrath of Khan.
I love the fact that you pointed out Seneko, just because he's been one of the best supports for a long time. I think a lot of people have always studied him. I talked to Insania, I talked to Hanskin. They say, like, this is the guy to watch when it comes to supports. Did you feel like all the way back in Na'Vi, did you ever look at his games?
I don't tweet very often about professional moves made, but when NIP organization removed Seneko, I knew that was a bad idea. I said, this is a bad idea. And then 3 months later, they didn't even have a Dota team anymore. I cannot believe they got rid of him. And, you know, no offense to Chicken Fighters, but then they also, the old NIP, they drop out of the Division 1 scene. Like, Seneko is a potential championship caliber player. Like, when you think about his ceiling, I'm not saying that he's like, oh, best support in the world, but if you look at the way he's played throughout his career, he has the potential to win. And you can't say that a lot about like a lot of other players currently in Division 1 across the world.
Yeah, and he is mechanically very skilled as well, and part of the reason maybe that is he used to also play 4 position, most frequently on the Na'Vi roster around 2016, 2017. So he's going to talk to us a little bit more about him going from 4 position, well, technically 5 position to 4 position to back to 5.
Enough to save all, yes, it is. He's going to be fine as they go right back in. That Aegis will indeed get popped. No one, though, still alive, still chasing after them here. Has his attention now over here on that Snapfire. Afterlife will follow up.
I'm playing position 5, but before I was position 4, and the difference between it, I can say that position 4 and mostly takes a farm. He even might take from position 3. He can steal his farm, and just he always likes to rotate, or he has the heroes who will just roam, who always just runs somewhere on the map and make some action. Mostly people just play on position 5 because you have this time, like extra time to watch on map, move your team.
Knowing that disable follow-up is really important. And the line trouble though.
Yeah, he will fall again. We get another nice Icarus dive over the back lines though. And try, oh look at the sun rays doing so much much. Snake does fall, Iceberg also going down, and so does Immersion.
For example, when I was position 4 and captain, I was losing like a lot of farm and some ganks on the map because of it, because I was controlling the team. And then I realized that I need to move myself to position 5, and it's only one way to help team.
And he actually has a little bit of history. Of course, his first team was Power Rangers there, where he originally started on the 5 position. That, of course, is where we mostly know Cheshire Cat from, on the other side of Winstrike. So, yeah, there's a bit of history going back and forth between these two players.
Yeah. A lot of, I mean, Power Rangers is like the epicenter of Dota 2.
It's a throwback name.
Everybody knows Power Rangers.
Everyone.
You all played against Power Rangers. They were the original grinders. I think it's really cool. The only Western counterpart would be the original Fnatic roster when they came over from Han, because they weren't together for super long. But if you look at like all together game records for one roster, they're like 3rd. Because they just played so many tournaments, so many games. Like Secret, EG, right? They just get invited. They've always been invited, so they're just kind of hanging out. These guys had to grind through qualifiers. So Power Rangers, I mean, the fact that these players are still in the scene and still working so hard blows my mind.
They were the gatekeepers.
I certainly am not.
They were the gatekeepers of the open qualifiers. Like, we actually had, like, 3-4 years ago, we had a UK team that was pretty okay. But every time they got to a point of, like, semi-finals, Power Rangers were speeding.
Yeah.
Then they smacked them down. And like, oh, well. We're terrible.
They were like, it's the, if you couldn't, they were just like right there. They were the barrier to tier 2.
Yep.
It's similar to like what we were in NA. It's like, if you can't beat complexity, you're probably,
don't even try to stop.
You're not good. Because we weren't great.
Come again.
We weren't great, but like we could beat people that were worse than us. Power Rangers, kind of the same deal, but I'm glad they've all found success as they've moved around the scene.
Now, do you think that they actually have the kind of success like Cheshire Cat? There are many players who have played for a very, very long time. Hell, we've gone through so many interviews of players who said, I started off in 2014, 2013, any of those years, but they haven't been able to reach the pinnacle of success. Very few players have. The only player that immediately comes to my mind is like Seb. No-Tell, right? As an example of somebody who long time ago, they're grinding out Dota, and they're still grinding now, but they did manage to achieve that kind of success. Do you feel like Cheshire Cat, do you feel like Seneko, that they are capable of achieving that same kind of story?
The thing is, like, Dota's such a team game where one player, you need to find the perfect kind of recipe, the other 4 players to enable you. And like, for example, Winstrike, Cheshire Cat, he has found the players that are bringing the best out of him that we've seen in his entire career. Just because you have, like, Yamich loves playing with him, the 4-player loves playing with him. You have Rebel kind of popping off the mid, new kind of guy, and then their 5-player, again, new fresh face. So if, especially for this region, finding this kind of combination of players is very rare. So I think this is the best moment for Cheshire Cat to ever show that he has that potential, be it as the captain or co-captain. And yeah, this is his time.
And now he's got to elevate, because that, if you look at the roster, I'd say that he isn't, I don't know if he's the weak link, but he's not their best player.
Well, he's the oldest player.
Yeah, but this is like time to show up. Like, you're the savvy vet. You don't have the longevity in your career remaining, like we just talked to the VP guys. You know,
you don't want to go back to open
teenagers.
Qualifiers. Yeah, like
exactly.
This is one shot of staying in the DPC, and it's like, well, come on, grasp it, go for it, try and get to the major, prove something.
Yeah, this may be a last ride of sorts for Cheshire Cat, as we've seen and talked to many players who have had similar thoughts, the biggest one being always want to fly. And we'll talk about that more, but we've got to get into the draft. So we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back. AS Monaco Gambit versus Winstrike. It's going to be a great match, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Into your eyes, I see the colors of your soul, and I recognize every single line, every single roadblock. We are 2 hearts that beat in time, and the tide was looking down all night, blocking out the sun up beneath. Maybe we can change our stripes and colors. You're the only one I see, and I take it all on nothing at all. Driving through the night till I met your door. Go outside.
So when it comes to a matchup that we just don't know who exactly is the stronger team, Winstrike, who's on the come up, or AS Monaco Gambit, who have been on the come down, I guess it comes down to draft that really determines which way we're swaying here. Gentlemen, do we have any thoughts about, I mean, you said drafting has been bad for AS Monaco Gambit. It's been good for Winstrike, who, like,
well, they're already out
elaborate
to
a
a big
little bit.
lead in the draft, Cap. Timbersaw's banned. They've picked Centaur.
Amazing.
Hero that is truly 1.36 of a hero.
I think the main thing for Gambit, though...
You could just say 1.5.
But it's not quite half.
Yeah, no, he wants to be a little bit different.
3.6.
Yeah.
It's
3.6.
it's about half. It's half of a man.
You're just trying to sound smart.
What if
Dumb,
he's
actually.
what if
He's
he's
like
even
6
bigger than
times dumb, actually.
3.6?
Yeah, what am I
He's
saying?
4.8.
Yeah.
No, it's 86%
Or
of a
5.10
horse.
even.
Huh? 86% of a horse, half a man.
Just a fraction of the conversation we're going to have during this draft panel.
But
All right, yeah, cool. More importantly, lads, please, and AS Monaco Gambit, what do you think's gone wrong so far? Well, first of all, Seneko. What? What's so
one
funny?
pick.
Wow.
What's gone wrong so
heroes
far?
on
Well, I mean, like before. Okay. Oh, that's true, Carl. It's true. You are taking exactly what I said and throwing it back at me. But
Kyle,
either way-
wasn't that you that I laughed super hard about? No, it was Nahaz. He was talking about the problems with the draft.
And it's like one ban.
And there was no heroes picked from that team yet. Oh man, that was a great time.
Well, the point I was trying to make was, you know, in the 7 games they played, Seneko's played 7 different heroes. And then if you look at Dream, for example, he played 3 IO games to start with. They lost that series to VP.
remember
And then they
that one.
bounced around 4 different carry heroes.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at simply that just safe lane alone, there isn't any consistency. Like, what are they grounding out their safe lane with? It's just every game's like something
Yeah.
new.
They're still going for this Wisp. All right. Man.
Look at my man, making sure the webcam's on tight. That's a professional right there. Unlike
Yes.
some others who just, it's pointed at their forearm. or something.
I mean,
The
not
best
to,
one where it's just like off the monitor. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
speaking
Oh, there we go. Solid forehead.
I'm
there,
not
chap.
to call anybody out, but I haven't seen Puppy's chin in 2 seasons of the DPC.
No. The best thing about his webcam, it starts like pretty okay, and as the game gets harder, it goes like higher and higher and higher. So it's like the amount of forehead you can see of Secret of Puppy is like how hard the game is for his.
Yeah,
Do you think he does it so you can't see his mouth? So nobody
Possibly.
could like potentially
The
Yeah,
read it?
probably. Yeah, I probably there's, or realistically, he just doesn't care, and he just like webcam on. You can see my eyes. You know, they're pretty. That's all about it.
Fair. All right,
AS
so-
Monaco Gambit, when they've run the IO before, it has normally been the carry for Dream. And Seneko has played that ET5 before. Going to be a pretty okay lane. The instant response from Winstrike, of course, with the AA, therefore mitigating the true presence of IO. But with the pacing that an IO carry can bring, you can play around the AA quite nicely. You just have to pick and choose your fights a little bit better. But it still, of course, is a counter to the IO.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm just a big fan of AA. I think you already now answer the Wisp in a lot of ways, and surprisingly, it's also quite nice against the ET as well, just because the hero is pretty squishy, especially as a support. Magic Burst just handles the hero. But more importantly, you have Centaur and you have countered the enemy carry hard, that no other hero in Dota can do like you.
Have they ever swerved it? 3 Elder Titan, 4 Elder Titan, 5 IO, or anything like that?
They've swerved. The IO has always been the carry for them.
Yeah.
And in regards to offlane, it's been, so far in this DPC, it's been Sanking, Axe, and Legion Commander are the only 3 he's played.
Oh, that's right. They like Legion Commander. Another reason we do not like their drafts.
They just don't have a handle. You can even hear in the VP interview, you know, DM's like, yeah, we didn't have a strat. We just picked good heroes. And I think that they have a better read on as to what are good heroes. Like Wisp is not really being first two'd very often. When it is, even when it wins, you're not thinking to yourself, man, that Wisp hero's real broken. The nerfs hit it really hard after the major.
Well, I think that the key thing here in this matchup alone is you have IO doesn't have the movement cap anymore. He can't go above it. Therefore, Centaur with the Stampede, the whole idea of IO carrying why so strong was he could always disengage most fights if he wanted to, but he can chase down. Now you have this Stampede. Every single hero can always escape from the IO now. He can always be able to at least mirror the move speed of the IO. And that alone might be big enough to counter it. But I just like the idea of Centaur, in lane, Vanguard. IO can't ever really pressure him. you can't really defend your tower when you start skipping the wave. So there is going to be, you're going to have to look at how the new age IO is going to play into this game, because I'm already struggling to see it having a good time in laning phase specifically. But that pacing it still brings to the minute 15, minute 20 mark. When you do get the Ags, you have that Dom if you go for that build. It is still pretty disruptive. It's just it doesn't have that good scaling like it did before. It's a smaller window to really play into. But it does kind of go towards what Carl said in the pre-show, which was you want to see no one on more of a win condition. IO is the perfect carry to buff up a greedier hero. If you can survive laning phase and you get to that window and you have this double core threat of an IO core plus a mid lane core that enjoys playing with an IO, that can be disruptive. Just a little bit greedier to get into the game.
What mid heroes would you like to see for no one that do work well with an IO?
I mean, Morphling's like number one for no one.
Yeah.
No one, I'd say, sorry.
Yeah,
you could even go for like the troll and just more classic carries, but I think Morphling is number one.
For which team?
I guess Gambit, but then you're going to say the AA will counter both of them.
Yeah. You crazy?
Mate. Too many AA targets.
You can't pick. No, you cannot.
All right,
pick,
all right. There is a concept
You
in
can't
Dota.
pick two cores that both feed to AA.
Yeah, but there's one blast. There is a concept in Dota where you can pick heroes that are countered by one because there's too many. It's like Bloodseeker and Rupture, right? So many heroes to Rupture. You've only got one
different.
Rupture, Carl.
You can also buy an Ags and have two. So terrible example.
Well, no. Who wants to buy Ags on Bloodseeker? It's a fine example.
If you have the Rupture to win the game. Okay, I get your point.
Thank you.
But
God, yes.
hard
Thank
disagree.
you. All right, that's fair enough. Winstrike need to pick though.
They do.
Active position 4, which Dr. mitigate.
They can pick the Morphling, but there's an ET, so maybe you don't want to go that route. I get that.
Now that's fine.
Magical
I
burst
accept it.
damage.
Yeah.
Magical burst slays the supports, slays the wisp. You have the AA for bonus damage. I love it. Like a Yule's up into a vortex remnant blast. That hero is dead, obliterated,
No,
deleted.
Yeah, there's no hard lockdown coming out from Gambit right now, so this Void Spirit does kind of excel in this position. An early Ags or something to disrupt the move. Okay, there you go, Juggernaut.
All right.
That's more like it. Means the wisp is support or
And
a
then-
mid.
Do you guys think so Witch Doctor ET, that's our dual offlane
Yeah.
in this situation? You're good with that?
I think it's better with the wisp. If you have ET wisp, that's a pretty absurd laning
I
combination.
feel like you have to put the Doctor with the Juggernaut, then you have some kill threat on the Centaur.
Yeah.
You run him down with the Maledict.
Yeah.
I like this a lot more. Not a huge fan of wisp as a support at the moment, but it does give you that bit of a lane advantage, and I don't think that Winstrike would have predicted this coming, considering they didn't ban a carry, and every game that Gambit have picked Wisp, it was Dream's hero.
So maybe this is their way of going, all right, they don't think that we have the flexibility. Surprise, here it is. I don't know. Gambit, they pick up a carry that also has a nice bit of healing involved as well, so they do have the double healing into an AA. Too much healing, Carl.
Yeah.
Too much healing. This have to be some very good blasts, and I like it. I like the fact they go for another stun to simplify this process. If they ever want to kill someone, they have so many stuns, it is impossible for AA to miss his blast.
Yep, and it's a great laning combination as well. Plus, Sven always been quite nice against ET, the plus armor from Warcry, and the speed to move away from the stomps.
Always good against IO combinations, right? Because of the cleave.
They clump up, yep.
I do like the fact that AS Monaco Gambit is enabling their Elder Titan, something that the last time we watched 3 ET was with OG, and that was something that was rather disappointing because they just let Seb out to dry, and he didn't even get his Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. The hero is one of the most Ags dependent in Dota, but it is an absurd Aghanims. Learned that the hard way playing Overthrow.
Oh, damn overthrow.
It's like, I got this guy, then 2 smacks from a briefcase and you're done for. I actually think it could potentially even be played as a carry.
Yeah, you do
You
often
just
get,
have
like-
Ags Echo Saber.
Yeah, in overthrow, you only get 15 hero spirit damage combos.
No, you can get up to 16. Gotta play the Octet.
Oh, sorry. Forgive me.
That's where it's at.
That's true. That's true.
All right, so we need a 4 position for Winstrike. Anything left? Range heroes that we like? There's still, what, Shadow Shaman? What other 4 ranged heroes? There's no Lina.
Technically, there's Dark
no-
Willow, but into Juggernaut doesn't feel great. But
okay.
into the ET and the I would feel very good.
Could you just pick a Tusk too to have some save for your Centaur up top? I mean, it's not perfect, but I think you're not really looking to contest Witch Doctor Jug in this scenario anyway. Just abuse lane mechanics.
That fire still available? Like the cookie could be pretty disruptive here. But yeah, just anyone who can, like Kyle said, someone who can just pull the wave and ensure Centaur to play a good game, or you have someone who can help survive the combo that they have, which is that spin rundown. I think, okay, they go for a Phoenix. Nice, yeah. Didn't mention this one. Very good hero.
Yep, they already have plenty of stuns, more damage. That Vortex amps quite nice against the support duo on the Wisp. Team fight now certainly superior on the side of Winstrike.
This is where Gambit, they can't be too creative here. They can't go over the top and suddenly go, all right, guys, there's a Phoenix, so let's put this Eye in a new position. I would like to just see it as this is a last pick for mid, and hopefully creativity doesn't...
Yeah. Just the AA covers you against like the Death Prophet or the Necro that I would lean towards this out again. You know, I've said that I wanted them to not do it, but Kunkka looks like the best fit with Tiny out of the pool.
But again, it is, in your words, it is another hero that fall victim to the AA, so they have to be confident in that we pick enough heroes that AA counters them, but you can't always hit all of them, unless it is some perfect across map.
Kunkka?
Yeah, because you play off of your bow, the low HP, you want to go armlet normally. It very much is countered by AA in that scenario. But then you go for a quick BKB, enter the fight early, and you should be fine.
Yeah, it's got to be a BKB hero. I mean, that's a given.
Well, you also need to be able to hit egg. That's an awkward thing here. When you think about the...
Oh, you could Lina.
It's banned out by Gambit themselves. Okay, they go for an Ember Spirit.
Okay. I like that route. It's very active, but I mean, the big difference in these two drafts, like just the size, the beef. Winstrike, incredibly durable. Meanwhile, Monaco Gambit, it is the offlane ET. Immersion will be laning with him on the Wisp. They need to play fast. It's skirmishes, it's pickoffs. They have to overwhelm Winstrike with pace.
Don't allow the jungle to be, easily farmed up. Contest every stack. Ensure that Winstrike, if Centaur has a good time, Sven's not having a good time.
Yeah.
If Phoenix comes for an egg, you have the numbers advantage that you can offset that, kill the egg quickly, and play.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wins the draft? Speed or strength?
I think strength, normally, of how we've seen the patch go so far. The ability to find gold on the map is pretty good. So I think Winstrike has the easier time into the game, so I'll favor them.
It's just an easier time. Much easier time for them to win. However, I will say I got a special place in my heart for these sort of really fast-paced Wisp Ember lineups because you can just take over a game. However, the laning phase has to go out and the rotations have to be on point. Yeah.
All right, very important then for AS Monaco Gambit, their play to be top-notch, something that they have been lacking a bit lately. Let's see if they can finally get themselves a win here in the second season of the Eastern European DPC. Over to ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yes, I mean, Fogged, what do you make of this then? We're seeing these two teams go head-to-head. AS Monaco Gambit, big-name squad, big-name players, but they've just so far not been really finding their footing here in the league. With these two drafts in place, do you think they're going to be able to do it against Winstrike, or do you think Winstrike, with their sort of the power that they've come in and come up to this league with, are going to be able to take them down?
I don't know, actually. I'm kind of liking the speed. I think Ember Spirit's a kind of interesting hero right now that I think it's underutilized. I think this is a hero that we might see getting picked more when we see people just relying on cores to be the disablers, because again, just like we saw in the last series, AA Phoenix, there's no disables on supports. I feel like that's when Ember Spirit can really thrive. So I'm going to be looking at Noan a lot this game, seeing what he's able to accomplish. Also, some tough ways for him to break the Flame Guard, right? Just their overall magic damage. He can play around it pretty decently. I feel unless he gets hit, like completely connected by Void Spirit styles, he might be able to play around it. If he can get to backlines as this Ember, snipe the supports easily, I could see some good stuff from Gambit. However, I do like the Sven pick a lot, Duraccio. I think Sven versus ET all across the game is going to be pretty problematic. Same thing versus the Juggernaut. I think this is the big one to watch for Winstrike.
Sure. Like, just the core matchups. I mean, does it ever really feel good playing Jug into Sven, or is kind of the whole game rough?
As long as you're able to slow him down and you're just playing fast, that's the thing. It's like it can go both ways as long as you're just not letting the Sven really farm those stacks. If he just starts farming stacks, he gets ahead of you, Jug's gonna have some big problems. They're gonna have some damage issues for sure.
See if we get any early catch here around the runes, but it doesn't look like AS Monaco Gambit will head down to the bottom ones to contest.
I'm happy to see Witch Doctor too. Dude, I never see Witch Doctor. I feel like this hero's like disappeared from a lot of teams, but I'm thankful to see it. I don't know how well it's going to actually do, but I'm thankful to see it because I'm seeing so much of these like super tanky offlaners, the Centaurs going Vanguards. Like you can actually do really well with Maledict to zone them out, especially if you have a hero like Jug to zone. We'll see how that ends up going down.
I mean, is it, as you said, you know, not necessarily one of the most popular supports at the moment. Is there something that AS Monaco Gambit's lineup is lacking because they have a Witch Doctor instead of one of those more meta support heroes?
They are lacking a bit of catch, but I think that's why they went for that Ember. The Ember will give them that good chase potential, a good catch that the Witch Doctor and IO might lack in some situations. Because they're also quite frail on their two supports. They don't really provide crazy team fight either. You look at the supports from Winstrike, just Phoenix alone provides more team fight than both supports overall from Gambit.
Yeah, well, so some of these lane setups, do you think we're going to see anyone have a tough time? I mean, mid, yeah, Ember versus the Void Spirit, you know, the actual laning, has it got a bit of an edge for no one?
I think so now. It's gotten better because of the nerfs that Void Spirit's received and Ember Spirit's not really gotten touched. I think it is better for the Ember Spirit now. Well, it used to be like 50-50. I think now Ember has like this slight advantage.
Oh, let's see first wave. No one's able to get the quick bottle out.
Yep.
I see top. I mean, you said so the importance this game that Dracho is able to get the farm. They're not able to slow him down early on. ET off lane. Are you able to do much about the Sven in the laning stage, or is Dracho going to be fine?
You definitely can. It's as soon as you hit 3. You're just playing around Spirit. With IO, it's an immense amount of damage. I actually think Dotalive should hold the skill point. Not because I see almost every Sven in most of these lanes, you just instantly skill cleave. I think this one you might have to save the Warcry point just in case.
Oh, we saw that on the bottom lane. AS Monaco Gambit getting very close to taking down Yamich. They got him pretty much a full Blade Fury and Voodoo Restoration, but between the Tango and the Fairy Fire, just enough to keep Yamich alive.
Scary lane. As soon as the Witch Doctor is level 3, I feel like it gets much more difficult for the Centaur to lane. Where usually Centaur can do really, really well in these matchups. Pantomime? Or Submersion?
Yeah, Immersion not fancying trying to trade right clicks with him. I think the spells are going to be back up for Pantomime in a second.
Very little regen up here too. Just the 2 tangos right now in Immersion.
And down bottom, I'm going to go for another attempt here. This time, Cheshire Cat is going to respond with a TP. Is towards the tower rather than the base. There was a lot of damage.
Should be okay. It's only level 1.
Yeah, you're right. It just brings him down to the 50 HP, so he's more than fine. It's got South ready to go, so good breed from Cheshire Cat to make the call to stick in the lane.
Yeah, Mitch grabs the creep pull as well. Seneko is now 3 though, so they will have level 2 Maledict, and the next spin, Cheshire Cat is dead.
Yes.
If he does not play very far back. No one. See him aggressively running in, taking away the bounty rune away from the Void Spirit.
He's going to have this solo kill.
He got him.
He has. Yamich stepping a little too close, and with the Maledict having the extra point in, there's no chance. So Seneko, an easy first blood from there as he just walks down Yamich.
Love it. And they went boots on Dream, first item for the Jug, so they can run down Cheshire Cat. And they have Bassi, the best item on supports in the game right now, on the Witch Doctor. So they'll always have mana to be able to go for those aggressive plays. Look at Cheshire Cat. This is not how you want to have to play as a Centaur. Not able to walk up to the creep wave at all.
We'll have Yamich come back in the mid to have a
Cheshire
helping
Cat.
hand. And
Okay, they're not going to go for the spin. They could have chased him down, but Dream didn't want to go so far.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if they're going to be taking a lot of tower hits, and they don't know.
He misses out on 3 creeps or so, or if he did go for it too, so the trade-off isn't probably worth it.
Either way, just obviously sending a message to Cheshire Cat, telling him that he's got to be very aware how close he gets the creep wave down, especially when he's on his own. See if Yamich's return can make this lane a little better for Cheshire Cat. And again, this time they've got the setup. That's all they need, just a cast. Buy time for Dream to come in, and this bottom lane looking better and better here for the Jug.
I think this is going to prove to cause some like very big snowball effects later on. Like a Centaur, that's your front line to be able to just block the pressure versus towers, block the pressure versus invasions into your triangle and stuff like that. Him being this weak now, this early, I think it's going to be really problematic for Winstrike. They're just going to be able to commit and kill for Centaur,
I mean,
unlike usual. Like right now, usually you almost have like the Vanguard on most of these Centaurs in a lot of these lanes. So this is huge from Gambit. And they're doing really well in the mid lane. Top lane is also starting to, I mean, not really bully so much, but Dotalive does have to be careful whenever he is alone.
Oh, for sure, yeah. With the way those first few deaths have gone, it feels like they can't really play the lane at all now. You know, this Jug is there's not going to be anything you could do as a Centaur and a Phoenix in the lane against him now that you've fallen a little bit behind.
No, he's actually just full out cutting wave now on Cheshire Cat. So Phoenix and Centaur, that means their game is going to be pretty crippled. So talking about that Phoenix pick also that they went for last pick, it isn't a jug.
They could kill Cheshire Cat here. They've got Seneko set up. Dream's actually going to TP over. I mean, he's dead.
He's dead.
I mean, you see, yeah, Dream, who's even maybe seeing if he could get it without committing the Blade Fury. Will come in, of course, to make sure it's a guaranteed kill. But yeah, they're just having a beautiful time in this safe lane, this jug.
I mean, that's really brutal. Because now also look at top.
Yep.
No one is seeing a little bit of weakness from the Sven when he has the Elder Titan with 2 points in aura.
As Dracho will be out of turn with the stun. He's into the trees. He's trying to hide. Ooh, nice. A little bit of a juke, but they've got another Remnant to chase him down. They'll have him here. One more slight in a second, or a chains. That'll do it. They catch Duracho. The move is a success there from no one. As Yamich. Oh, he's absolutely dead.
Just the one hit from the DD.
That's all that's needed. As Yamich.
Can he deny himself?
No, he's not even going to try. As Yamich goes down, Seneko should fall for this as Relbal. He's got the Remnant grab. So Relbal at least able to find themselves there as a team their first kill this game. But top lane, the action continues. No one Afterlife and Immersion. They're in onto Pantomime. 6-1 here as ASM Gambit getting a lot done with this sort of early aggression.
That's exactly what their lineup wants. It's just, like they said, speed versus brute. And the speed right now is definitely winning out. And they have great invasion heroes. That's the thing I'm looking at with the Ember, with the IO Elder Titan.
He's here again. Seneko TP's, he's ready to go for another round.
He's got to hold the stun on Seneko. Just wait till he, just wait for the TP.
And there we go. I mean, he's very, very dead. With the Omni Slash, there's no chance of getting out of this. Top lane, they try for Afterlife. They don't quite have enough damage, though. Pantomime and Jiracho. He is able to step away. This poor old Sensor, you see his net worth. It really is down in the dumps right now.
He is not going to be that tanky Centaur. He is just absolutely not going to be. He's going to get shredded because there's a lot of amplification from Gambit's lineup on top of him already being so underfarmed. They have ET Aura, they have Overcharge Amplify, and they have just overall like built-in crit and high damage that's going to be coming from the Ember Spirit because of all that amp. Yeah, this is a real rough start for Winstrike and a really good start for Gambit, which they have not been having in like any of their games. They haven't been having like any locks. So
yeah, no, definitely coming in and looking a lot different to what we've got used to seeing from them here in this league, as they have had a fair few rough games.
I definitely want to see some like invasion wards as soon as possible though, like especially from Seneko, who's actually looking for a Rebel again. Deny the haste rune, beautiful. But yeah, if they can smoke and just get a ward to watch the stacks, I want to see them try to go for that soon. Because then if they see the stacks, they can contest the stacks versus the Sven very easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Jug can just get in, at least take the large one with the Blade Fury.
Yeah, and Duracho, he's going to have to jungle quite a bit here. So I feel like a lot of this this early game is going to be up to Rebel. His rotation, so how much he's going to be able to make with the support.
Has he got the kill here on his own, Dream? If he gets a few crits, I mean, there's one. He only needed the one. He's just getting solo kills on him. Meanwhile, in the mid, no one's diving in onto Yamich. Yamich has got to dive to get away. Top lane, they'll try and turn on towards Afterlife. Afterlife is going to juke through the trees. Probably just needs one more ability to throw out. He's starting to salve up, though, Afterlife. Remnant's out. Isn't quite going to catch him, as he's going to continue to make Rebel and Pantomime work for this. He's into a nice little hiding space, but the creep gives up his position. The creep will still find him. Cold Feet does kick in, and they will take him down. But definitely making them work for the Afterlife. And look at this, they have moved in. They've found the large camp. They're going to be able to take this stack easily with the Flame Guard and the Blade Fury. Even at this great timing as well to pick up the remainder of the neutral items that they were waiting to drop. Cheshire Cat!
Another gift?
Oh, he's dead again! Oh, he's trying to run, but you can't run from that. The Omni Slash is out, and Cheshire Cat 0-5-0. One of the roughest starts I feel that we've seen from an offlaner.
He's just getting completely outplayed by Gambit. And him just rushing Ring of Health, I think, actually hurt, rather than going for boots to be able to, like, run away. Seneko's 6!
I mean, he's got it. It's an easy kill. Oh Seneko 5-1-1. They're going to make the jump on him. Can Seneko get out of this? It doesn't look like he can. So Rebel able to at least take something in return, but Seneko just causing so much havoc.
Dude, Witch Doctor, I'm glad I said something about it because
it's looking really good. I mean, we were sort of in this talk the other day. So what would you like to lane against a Centaur? I think, yeah, a Witch Doctor plus a Killer plus a Jug. Obviously, in this example,
look at mid.
It just seems to be the best way to go.
Oh. Duracho has to be very careful how he steps up there.
No.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And right now, it really feels like the game is all on Rebel's shoulders for Winstrike. He has to make so much happen as Void Spirit. And he is doing a decent job, 3-0.
We've got the chains, but not quite able to get in past the tower on him.
Oh, Yamich tries to snipe the healing ward, can't even get it with the dive, so this tower might just go down.
Oh, Pantomime. Oh, he's dead. This tower indeed cannot be defended. 11 minutes in. SM Gambit keeping that pressure high. They take the tier 1.
Speaking of keeping pressure high, an item that we don't see picked up, especially not on Ember Spirit anymore, the drama on no one. He just wants to keep up speed, keep up pressure, just looking for any type of action. I like it. I actually really do. Even though this weird Ember Spirit item, it doesn't matter. If it can work well with this team, if they can just keep running up and set this tempo, it's not going to allow Winstrike to ever get the Sven in a position where he's ahead of Juggernaut. The fact that he's 900 behind is massive. Nice D-ward by Yamich. We'll be able to unblock those Ancients and get a D-ward himself. AA blast down bottom. They want Immersion.
Immersion. He's already ready to take Dream out of there. In fact, straight over towards mid with a found Duracho. He's going to try and run, but the cask is out. They close the gap. Duracho gets taken down. Another kill for SM Gambit.
They're setting up for the reload bottom, but so is Dream. He's coming back.
Over. Yeah, they can't kill this IO, these two.
And here comes no one. Speaking of the speed.
Rebel's still hanging around in the trees, but he's not got a lot of mana to play with.
Look at, I think Seneco's hunting Cheshire Cat. He has a Veil and level 4 Maledict. He's going to kill anybody he finds.
Oh, there's no dive. Dive's on cooldown. He might be able to force the egg.
He will.
Yeah. Now we have it. Yamich having to put the egg. Seneco says,
no
all
way.
right, goodbye.
No way. Okay, tip Seneco right now.
Oh, Pantomime. Oh, that's a free kill there for Dream. Only slashed down on the A. Yeah, this game's turning into a bit of a mess here.
Seneco is just crushing the game, honestly. His TP's bottom, his setup around the wards, just solo kills, level 7 so early. I love the Veil pickup too.
Yep.
The positioning you can actually cast it from now with the increased cast range is much nicer as these 5 position supports. Works amazing with everybody on his team too. This is going perfect. This is the best game I've seen from Gambit so far in this entire DPC, I think.
Yeah, well,
just to start the game.
Easily. They've had some struggles.
It's clean.
That's looking very, very good so far.
And now your moves are only... It's Rebel and Pantomime. They're the only ones who can really make moves around the map at all. Everyone else is just going to die if they show up at all.
And they've got 3 of them down at the bottom. Trying to make the move onto Dream, but everything's missed.
It's not easy for them though, right? Because the Centaur is so far behind, their whole draft is just not enabled. They don't have a leading stunner anymore. Rebel has his attempts at his Aether Remnants. He has heals now, so that'll help him set it up, but it's just tough for them to get any lockdown on any of these targets. And there's an elusive target at that. Ember and Jug, it's just not easy. This is the first Centaur I've seen that actually has not been able to purchase Vanguard. He had to just go Hood. They've broken poor Cheshire.
Well, Dream? He's waiting for them on the high ground here, but they're aware of this. Duracho, he's going to want to push Dream away from at least the solo Ancients here.
Dream is so... Yasha and Maelstrom already? My god.
Yeah, I do like you went for that build-up. None of this Battle Fury rubbish in a game where they're playing as fast as they are.
No way, especially if you're with like IO and ET. Yeah. Like this is where ET, your aura is going to thrive. You amp up the Maelstrom.
Yep.
IO amps up the Maelstrom with spell amp and attack speed too. I think this is the perfect build. And it's all about speed. They're just looking to swing across the map. So movement speed from Yasha, Tether, drums, etc. It's perfect. It fits their lineup just exactly how they want it to. Winstrike.
Oh.
Might be able to find something here.
I think Immersion. They have outnumbered them. They've got the egg out. Immersion off to the side, but he goes down. Dream, he's just going to look to TP out with the range of this Blade Fury. Is he able to make it away?
He
isn't. That was a long TP,
Where did
right?
he TP?
Where he was not going back to base, I can certainly tell you
No.
that. He was trying to TP somewhere on the map, but somewhere that someone else has already been. Maybe, was it over towards mid where Afterlife had just TP'd to?
I didn't see. I just saw that it was a long TP. He made definite big mistake, and Winstrike, they find themselves something to get them back in the game. And that's, Duracho needed that so badly.
Yeah, no one's TP's on cooldown, actually, so I don't know where he's TP'ing. Huh?
Paneto?
Well, see it here on the replay. Dream. Okay,
he's tier 1.
He's going to tier 1 so that's just a little too long there.
He tried to go for the greedy play. He wanted to show back up to fight with his team when they were going for that play, but it actually gives a huge window to Winstrike. Cheshire Cat now has Blink Dagger. Duracho is enabled a lot better now too. So now they can actually make plays that they can actually land stuns, because he does have Blink on Cheshire Cat. That was a pretty big mistake there from Gambit.
No, definitely losing a little bit of their momentum.
But they did see all the ults used, so I guess that means Roche. They're going to try to attempt it. No Egg, no Stampede, no Godstrike. Stampede is back up in about 5 seconds, so Winstrike might still look to fight, because they have AA Blast and they have the Blink on Cheshire Cat, so definitely an attempt possible from them. Yeah, Gambit, they'll respect it, they'll back away.
Let's see if they can catch no one.
Breaks the smoke with the Remnant through all of them. And he's also gone the Maelstrom, so there's a lot of damage that's going to be kicking off in this mid-gun from these Maelstrom procs. All amped up by that ET Spirit, of course.
But as you say, they do need to keep pushing and fighting, otherwise the Sven's net worth and farm starts to get a little scary.
It can't start to. Right now, they're still in a great. They're still in a, like, they don't need to be super forcing anything. They just have to, you know, not feed inside the fights.
I'm gonna get the jump on Seneko. See if they can find anything more from this. Dream and no one are ready to go from the high ground. They're going to move it on to Cheshire Cat, drop the Omni Slash. The bounces, though, not really working in Dream's favor. Cheshire Cat still getting low enough for no one to finish him off with the slide of the fist. Duracho taking pretty much a full death board to the face here as he'll get a kill on Seneko, but he'll go down in return for that. No one, nice dodge of the Supernova Stone with the Remnant. He's going to look to use this to continue to close the gap onto Yamich. See if we can catch him here with the chains. Yamich through the trees. There he can. No one's able to get the catch with the chains into the stop, but they turn. They grab no one. No one's going to die for his efforts. As they do at least pick up Yamich as well at the end of it all, SM Gambit. So getting that big kill, getting the Sven, still getting the cleanup, but losing a little bit themselves there. Losing no one, as no one did come out with the flashy plays to continue the aggression, but it does end up still dying.
Yeah, they still do have pretty insane burst. The beauty of AA, whenever you have any of these like spirit heroes, you're always going to have a good burst target for the one. But that was a Gambit fighting into all of Winstrike's ultimates, and they did do pretty decent, even though they did lose the one hero. They defended the tower.
And keeping that lead down, 3K lead. Sven only just behind that of the farm, the jug, and close to the BKB. Once he has that going, sure they do have physical elements, but being able to run in with the BKB, stay on some of the squishier targets with the lockdown they have between the three cores. It will be a little spooky when the God Strength's up.
Yeah. And the Warcry overall is going to be phenomenal into at least the physical damage, but that's also why we do see that Gambit went for all this magical mixed with those Maelstroms being brought in. Now that the ults are down, they're going to try again to start poking at this Roche. Don't quite have vision in the area just now, though. Just a sentry placed on the low ground from Seneko.
Let's see if Winstrike make any sort of attempt around it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. So,
no.
Slow and steady Roche here for SM Gambit.
Seneko gets a ward up too now, so he can guard the area. They're already pinging bottom. Duracho showed himself on the wave. I think they were considering a relocate if they could get a +1 first to set it up.
And Duracho, an ancient camp away pretty much from the BKB, but now we'll have to be fighting into the aegis of a very farm jug. Another smoke move over towards Railball. We've got the chains to set things up. Death Ward immediately put to a stop, though, by the Remnant. As Railball was ready. He's away.
They're hitting a big timing here, though, on ASM Gambit. They have the Aghanims now finished on the Elder Titan. I believe Dream has the Manta after the Maelstrom, and they have all this Aegis, Medallion, and Mech also on the IO. So right now, the fights, they look to be pretty complicated for Winstrike, but they have to try to find these back heroes if they can. Get on the IO, get on the Witch Doctor, and they have to play around. Honestly, playing around Afterlife might be a little bit complicated. The Sven BKB is going to be crucial. He has to be really cautious about the usage.
Radiant are scanning.
There's just overwhelming damage really coming out on the side of Gambit right now.
They're going to try and catch it with the Stampede. They want Snako. They're in onto him, but the heals are coming out. Merchant's in with the tether. He's able to take him out to safety. Snako's going to be fine. Dream looking for his target. He's going to commit with the Omni Slash onto the 2 cores. Cheshire Cat gets taken down. A perfect Omni Slash there, really, to get maximum damage out onto both of them. There's out to the side, Jamich. Rooted in place here. He's not even going to get any sort of chance even to get the egg off. They just cut him apart there between the Sleight Fist and the punch of the ET. There's 2 dead on Winstrikers. They try and make an aggressive move onto Snako, but ASM Gambit, they're ready to turn it around.
And the Shadow Amulet pays off. He just goes invisible for a second and just completely breaks everything. He actually starts the fight as a Witch Doctor walking up high ground. Usually not the way that you'd assume it would happen, but nice dive from Snako and a great fight. And that Omni Slash couldn't be more perfect. They get the stomp on 2, bounces perfectly between the 2 of them as well. And that's the first BKB. That's Deracio's first showing. Not feeling too good.
And we'll see it again here, this jump. But a little too tough to take down. Not even close, really. Snako still at half HP after that initial attempt.
Oh, and look at these bounces.
I mean, it couldn't be any
Beautiful.
better. I feel like we're used to sort of seeing situations where maybe, you know, he didn't get all the bounces needed to take Cheshire Cat out and would have stayed on the Sven, but not the case here. Just enough to kill off Cheshire Cat and enough space to jump straight back over to Dyrachyo and get that full amount of damage out.
They don't have the usual ways that they would like to have to be able to like protect their team fights, protect their egg. It really is just, it's so much of this snowball effect because of Cheshire Cat. He's just so frail. It's a hood blink. You know, he doesn't have Vanguard, doesn't have any of this tankiness that he can actually stand and hold his ground, maybe eat some more of those slashes, etc. It's just tough fights. There's just so much damage from Gambit, and with this advantage, they can just keep running through. Especially just if they can just keep forcing these BKBs from the Sven like that, this game is quickly going to become near impossible for Winstrike.
Still showing themselves mid here, Dream and Immersion. Dyrachyo, I mean, he's got the BKB and the God Strength. Does he want to try and take a fight? He doesn't. He just wants to push them away from the tower, and they'll do so. Well, they'll come with a smoke, Winstrike. See if they can get the wraparound onto the back lines, start the fight on top of the IO or the Witch Doctor, this time with a bit more firepower.
They know that Snako has this ward up here. They pinged it earlier when he placed it. They're going to scan. They're aware of the positioning. Dream's just running in, trying to break the smoke, and he's going to.
Yeah, now it's, you know, what did Winstrike do? They're still going to try and make the jump route.
Afterlife.
He's in onto the ET, but Afterlife's going to be fine. Immersion comes in with the tether. Dyrachyo trying to commit on towards the ET. Afterlife, he's being focused down. Can Dyrachyo actually finish off the kill, though? Afterlife's just going to continue to kite up this Sven. Supernova's out. They'll bring him down, but did take pretty much the full duration there, the BKB. As now Dyrachyo's going to be held in position. Snako just right-clicking into him. Dream's ready to back them up with a healing ward. Now Dyrachyo without any BKB to rely on. He's a little bit vulnerable. Snako's able to kite him out with the invis. Dyrachyo goes down. As they can't quite find an easy way to get these fights going. It just takes them far too long to get some of the less important heroes in these team fights.
Yeah, they have to commit so hard for Afterlife. I think they use like the dust and the glimmer on or the dust on him after the glimmer, but his ET spirit returned to him. So the magic immunity dispels, I think, the dust off of him. And then they have to just full commit with BKB Sven to kill just the ET. So the rest of the team just has to immediately bolt away from this super farm juggernaut and Ember Spirit. As the Sven again, second BKB usage, not picking him up the fight that he wants. Gambit's looking good besides that one little slip up that they've had so far. All playing together as this unit, the way they've itemized too, it's all coming together at the same time. Solar Crest now on this IO, who we didn't say, but you know, Philly Stone definitely helping a lot here for this Immersion IO.
Snap on him. Ooh, no one didn't quite get him with the slight chains, maybe into the trees as Relball's out. Still playing over on Winstrike's half of the map though. SM Gambit cutting the creep waves, making sure that all the pressure's coming in. He's now got a blink on the Sven, so Dracho at least able to make sure he can get immediately on top of his target in the fights once he's popped the ultimate.
He does need to. He's really close to 18 as well, too, for that level 3 God Strength. Does feel like he needs every little thing he can get at this point. No one?
Just starting to sort of tease around with them here. Once the rest of the team starts to swing over with the push on the mid and the bottom.
I've been seeing this so much from these Embers, too, lately. He takes the... I mean, this was way earlier, but he took the absorption talent. We mentioned how they didn't have the easiest ways of breaking it. It's been relevant in all of these fights, too. Duracho. They're trying to force BKBs.
Oh, and yeah, it's going to come out. They will turn this time. They will manage to kill off Sneko. Now they're going to look to try and chase for the bigger kills. Look towards no one. No one. What's the slide fist, and now Afterlife's trying to start charging into them. I mean, that's the Stampede. Got strength used. They want to find more out of this Winstrike.
Damage dives in.
He's up to the high ground. He does have the supernova to rely on. So they're able to force him to use it. It will come out. Immersion's able to still get the mech off. He needs to get away from the supernova. He's not going to be able to do so. Yamich will burn him down. Can they get more for this? They get the pull on the jug. They get the catch with the Remnant. That's going to be Dream going down. See if they can catch Afterlife and no one. The last two left alive here in ASM Gambit. The chase continues. Dracho, he's got the stun on no one. That's no one gone. Afterlife, he's having a TP out. And he'll only just make it away, but Winstrike turning it around here, taking down 4.
The Sven damage, jeez, Duracho, the Imp Claw, every little thing coming into play, like we were saying, just actually gets a good fight. Looked a little weird too with Yamich diving onto the high ground there, but gets them into a good position to get the egg on the south and gets the Sven on top of the IO.
Excellently done there by Winstrike against a team that has managed to hold the advantage. Duracho really coming in big in that fight, making sure that he was able to go target to target and just able to sort of split ASM Gambit up enough to Sneko. He has got Afterlife backing him up, and it's going to be enough to cause Duracho to just BKB and TP out of here. He knows they're coming back into the game. Doesn't want to mess around with them. Yamich also going for the TP out. They got anything to stop it? They don't. So both
they do not
actually able to make it out.
And that his BKB it literally just came up when he did TP out with it. So nice moves there from Winstrike being able to invade here. And it's really is all these small things like Warcry armor coming into play in the fights too. They kill Dream before he gets Omni. If Dream gets Omni, he might kill everybody there with Afterlife because the Spirit's on top of everyone. But yeah, Winstrike impressing now these last few fights. And it's really just Duracho starting to get this big farm, starting to get this big damage. And a DE bottom. So let's give that bottle over to our Sven. And they do have ward vision right now of the IO and the Juggernaut as well. So smoke directly to them. Sneko.
Oh. Strike. Dream. He's got to be quick with the reaction. He is. Immediate Blade Fury jumps away, but Dracho's ready to jump in, chasing with a Blink Dagger. A Dream. He gets caught by the Hoof Stomp. They're going to be able to take him down. That's the Juggernaut gone. The rest of Gambit, and they've got to run. There's no fight to be had with Dream getting taken out at the start of it all. And Winstrike, no, they're going to continue to chase. Cheshire Cat, he's in. They've got the vision here, stun out onto Immersion. They've got the pullback as well with the Remnant. Immersion gets taken down outside. He's punching back, pretty hard as he is able to take down Dracho. Now he's going to go over towards Yamich. Yamich also to fall as Afterlife managing to recover what was about to be another terrible fight there for ASM Gambit, but Afterlife coming in with some heavy hits to clean up the big boys.
He hit 15 before that fight happened. He gets a 5-man spirit plus 600 damage. Warcry was still on cooldown too. He just shreds him. I think he might have had Mask of Madness active for a second too, because he hit him very hard. Afterlife maybe salvaging the game there as Dream making some pretty big slip-ups there twice now.
A few times now. And this time round, Immersion having to immediately tether away elsewhere as Relball makes the jump on him, forcing him to react. That means, Dream left alone and caught completely.
Nice stun from Cheshire Cat. Yeah.
We'll see this turnaround, from Afterlife. Just coming in, Cheshire Cat just getting beaten down, and the Sully Duracho, he's trying to fight with the God Strength from the BKB, but it doesn't matter.
Mask of Madness. Yeah, he did use the mask. He was at 3 armor, so ET's just hitting him for pretty much pure damage right clicks there when he's so low down there. Oh, man. Bit of a slip up there. Now he's got Echo Saber, too. Elder Titan level 18. Oh, love it.
What do you make of this, by the way? I mean, we see Realpal going for the Dagon scaling up this game. I mean, not something you see all the time in the Void Spirit. Is there a reason why, like, why the Dagon? I mean, there's so many items you can buy in this hero. Why Dagon this game?
Delete the IO, I guess, or just delete, like even like just deleting heroes in general, right? The way that they cleaned up the Jug 2 times now,
sure,
maybe it does feel like they can just insta kill him. They have Ice Vortex, so it's amped. He has Kaya Sange, so it's amped. So
all right,
it's gotten buffed.
No,
sure.
for sure they've been getting these chain stuns onto the Jug, so yeah, I guess a little bit extra 100 or so, a few hundred damage, and you're going to be more guaranteed to kill the Jug during the stun. But well, let's see. I've only had it been picked up in 3 matches so far on Void Spirit. I've had a lot of matches with the hero.
Definitely a weird one.
And he's leveling it up as well, isn't he?
He's got the because he also gets the spell amp. That's right. He gets the spell amp 20. Spell amp talent.
Sure, yeah.
He has a lot of spell amp.
It's a lot of spell amp. See, Realpal, he's away. Plays it super safe there, just double jumping back.
He's gonna TP out to his team immediately.
Yeah, I mean, Roshan's up. They've got to fight around here. I'll have the Stampede coming out. They're going to commit with the Omni Slash straight on to Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat always able to... He will still go down to the Maelstrom prop. They've found Immersion, though, in return. And with the Supernova out, SM Gambit, they've got to back off. Afterlife, he's chilling on the cliff right now. Be ready to come down with the spider legs. Going to turn straight over towards the AA. But this time, Afterlife's not winning this fight. As Afterlife gets taken out by the Sven.
But
Dyrachyo, he needs help. No one's coming in on him. Dyrachyo trying to hold his ground and punch back, but Dyrachyo will fall. Another buyback coming out from him as he's ready to return straight into the fight. Dream will go down. Snakeo's looking for the TP out. Will make it away in the pit. And no one. He's got a remnant available. Stun is chasing. Further buybacks here coming out from SM Gambit. This time around it's Afterlife.
Some crazy fights, but they did force this Dyrachyo buyback. I mean, did they force it? Dyrachyo just did buyback, so maybe a bit of a mistake there from Winstrike. That could give a window to Gambit. If they do kill this Sven, the game could just abruptly end. That was a little weird, the way the fight kicks off. Afterlife, I think, maybe thinking that he's just an immortal beast or something, running into 4 heroes. Definitely needs to be a little bit more careful. I still want the ET to be playing around his aura a little more. Sure, he can run in and go for these punch plays, but his Jug and his Ember were still up. You want to be playing around your teammates a little bit better rather than so solo. It was a little crazy by Afterlife.
Still, of course, all this attention around the Roche pit. You can imagine Dream's going to head straight back over in 20 seconds, but Winstrike, they'll want to try and make something happen before he's back.
I also, Dream doesn't have the shard, but I've seen him now multiple times now just spin for the damage rather than straight right-clicking. So I think he would want to just get the shard, because I think I've seen him do the spin like 3-4 times now when he could just right-click the heroes. Stomp. They're actually going to smoke out.
Realpal's kind of ready for this, scouting out things. The Remnant grab onto Dream. Cast out. Easily loads us straight back to Seneko. Can SM Gambit
has a spirit on them.
It. They're going to go in. A deep Remnant here from no one. Maledict out just on to the Centaurs. Dyrachyo, he's ready to come in onto the Witch Doctors. Witch Doctor, can he take it down low? But Afterlife's punching back too hard. Again, Afterlife just runs him down with Dream. Dyrachyo, he's out of the game for 100 seconds. No buyback now. Stun out. Onto the Centaur. ASM Gambit, they're ready to set up for another core. The slash is back up as Dream takes down Cheshire Cat. That's 2 cores out, and with no buyback, of course, available anymore on Dyrachyo. This will be a free Roshan for SM Gambit to step back into.
Dyrachyo, I feel like players are they're playing a little bit too aggressive and not understand like how much damage is going to come. He didn't click Warcry, so he doesn't have 25 bonus armor, and he pops Mask of Madness. He's at 4 armor. ET and Jug just eat him.
Did he? Was it on corner?
No. He just God Strength, BKB, blinked, Mask of Madness.
I mean, that's just a you'd never Mask of Madness before pressing your Warcry right in that situation.
I've seen him do it.
Just a bit of a blunder there from him.
He's done it twice now, and he has the level 20 talent. So that his effectiveness of this plus 25 armor, you're just deleting the most important ability versus ET, I feel.
You've got to pop it. Yeah, if you're not popping it, that's just a lost fight every single time. Yeah, it's the reason why you pick the hero.
Yeah, it's why you pick it versus the ET to counteract that whole minus armor, plus armor kind of thing. And he just didn't use, that's why you see Afterlife hitting him so hard. Because it's a 4 armor Sven, effectively, when he pops Mask. Bit of a blunder as he is dead for 30 more seconds, Gambit. Feeling a big power spike here. They also got given the free shard, of course, to the Jug. Got this Aegis. He's very happy now.
Well, let's see. They're going to lose some serious damage on the high ground here. These racks getting taken out by Dream. 10 seconds until Duraccio's back in. It's not going to be soon enough to defend mid.
Spirit just keeps scouting everybody. Look at its movement speed too. He's been using spider legs to amp it up, so it's got hasted move speed Spirit, so he gets it on all 5 every time. Look at that damage. Yummy.
So much. Afterlife having a great time in these fights. They've really got to respect him when they're jumping in with the Sven. As yes, we've seen he doesn't have any difficulty in turning and just fighting back on the Duraccio. And as you said, I feel like, yeah, eyes are going to be on the Sven to make sure he gets that war cry off in the next fight.
It's plus 25 already. It's massive, you know? He didn't take the +3 duration town, which I thought maybe he would this game. It was way earlier. He took attack speed.
Sure.
But, I mean, the attack speed's probably just more valuable overall in the game. So
I think especially because they were having a pretty rough start, right? So he needed to catch up with farm. And he did, you know, for the most part. They were able to close the gap a bit, Winstrike, but losing their footing again a little bit now. As we see there, a bit of a dip, but now back on track for sort of the advantage that ASM Gambit were able to build up very early this game.
Do you know what's wild, though? We were talking about how Rebels' game has to be, like, perfect for them to have a chance. He's 10-0-10. He's part of 20 out of 21 kills with 0 deaths on Void Spirit. It's like, he is doing an excellent job on Void Spirit.
There we go. We have the high ground defense here.
Stop.
They're going to have to do something. Well, losing the tier 3s. Supernova coming out. Duracio. He's watching from the side, looking for a chance to jump in, and there it is. He's able to get in onto Dream, but Merchant's in with the heals, and it's enough to allow Dream to get the Swift Slash and the Omni Slash out. As Dream's back in with the combo, but the Hoofstone will catch him as he comes out of the Slash. Duracio turns to bring him down once. So that's Dream gone the first time. Duracio having to run all the way back to base, though. A little too low to fight back. Ooh, Afterlife just comes in 2 shots the AA. As Pantomime will fall. ASM Gambit now having the space to take this bottom racks. And with a man down, no AA, there's not a fight to be had by the looks of it. Winstrike not able to push ASM Gambit back.
No, God's Strength is over too, so they don't even have the damage to be able to attempt to fight back there. As some big items now picked up, a Shiva's for the Ember. I believe a Basher also on the Jug. Gambit really finding their foot in these last few fights, and Afterlife just... I love watching ET just run through and 2-shot supports. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and you're a fan of the build here. Well, they're getting the bash on him as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like amazing, but it's a why not item versus
you
a
do it in a
fan.
game. Yeah, you're having a good game in, right? After this echo, you know, chances are one of those hits to start things off could very well be a bash.
Yeah, I think AC is probably the most appropriate item for him because he's playing versus Sven. He's got Jug, but either way, he's feeling himself. This build's gonna work anyway. He can just 2-shot people, so. And they're smoked. They're looking for the battle again. There is no egg and no God Strength still for 20 seconds. If they find this fight, Winstrike is going to get demolished. Rebel?
Oh, he's away, no one. He's going to find the rest of the team here. Dream's going to be brought in by Immersion. They'll look towards Duracio, but Duracio...
Bash?
Oh, it's there.
There it is.
That's it. They're in, and Duracio's got no escape now. And now he's dead again for 90 seconds. No buyback on Duracio. They'll be able to push down another lane. As his buyback, not only short money, but it is still cooldown for a minute.
Rebel?
We'll try and burst Immersion, and with the dagger, we'll be able to do so. So Immersion gets brought down. Dream and No One will probably take some kills in return, though, for this. As Cheshire Cat falls, Death Ward down onto Pantomime. There's 2 more dead on Winstrike. ASM Gambit, they can continue to just push in now. There's a buyback available on Cheshire Cat. But now AA down as well as the Sven for a minute, with neither having a way to get back into the game.
Is Rebel going to lose the game with 0 deaths on Void Spirit? He's 10-0-11. He's just not dying in any of these fights anyway, but he's not able to push them away from him or do enough for his team because of these few slip-ups from the Sven. He actually has played like the perfect Void.
I mean, that's, yeah, do we ever see
21 of 22 kills with 0 deaths.
Yeah.
He's part of all of their kills besides 1. It's a remarkable
and he's about to probably lose. Yeah, that feels kind of bad. I think that's one of the games where as the mid laner you're probably justified to sort of say team.
Team.
As Dream. Oh, it's a good jump. Have they got the burst? They do.
They do.
That's Dream gone. Ice Bar's coming in as well onto the back lines. So SM Gambit, they've got to back off. See if Rebel can catch anything more. He's going to look over towards Afterlife. Afterlife forced back in. He's ready to go with the BKB. He tries to fight. Going to go for the TP out after the Magic Community gets brought back in from the Ags.
They'll catch Dream again.
So they defend. Tier 3 still up in the top lane. They're able to push him back in time.
They do get the chain stun pretty nicely a couple of times now here on the side of Winstrike. They are getting the Jug, but it's not just the Jug who's the problem. It's the overall team.
We've got that the Timeless Relic as well, ready for Rebel. So more Spell Amp. More Spell Amp. The Dagon build paying off. Has no one. And he's got the BKB, so we'll manage to make it out of there. They're going to be able to blink and chase this. Doesn't look like it, so no one's out.
He's got the Arcane Rune too, so he's going to be able to toy with them a bit to stop any pressure or push. God's Strength will be down soon, and Jug will be back up. So Gambit will have a bit of a window when he is respawning versus this Winstrike team, who has used most of their ultimates. Rebel can still do a lot of work. He's got, 25, he's got this Dag, and he's got all this Spell Amp.
Rebel, he's got the step on Sneko. Straight over he goes. He's found the Witch Doctor with the burst of the Dagon. Sneko falls.
Do you see how much damage it's doing? 1160 without the Ice Vortex from the AA. It's actually pretty absurd how much damage it's going to be doing just with the Dagon.
It's working. The Dagon build's certainly working here for Rebel.
For him, yes.
And he's starting to build up the money next. We'll see where he goes. You know, still got slots to play with. He's holding onto a bottle. He's holding onto a gem.
Give me the E-Blade. Actually, you know, Refresher might just be more suitable because of his whole spell kit, but...
Yeah, or Octarine, maybe.
Yeah, maybe he just goes for those. I mean, we'll see if he's able to get to that. It's Cheshire Cat he's found.
He's gonna be fine here with the Stampede. Rebel already looking for a jump to make.
He can still assassinate the support, like an AA blast, and the supports are dead every single time from Rebel. Rebel? Astral Step. He scouted this time.
And he's out of steps. He's got to simulate in a second. But they're going to get a stun straight on the way down. So the first time he dies here. A lot of money for Dream, of course, because of that. A big bonus for finally taking down the Deathless Void Spirit.
And a gem also gets dropped too from his death because he was carrying that the whole time. Does have buyback, but does not want to have to be forced to use it here. Winstrike does have to be cautious with their positioning. Lanes will eventually start pushing into the side of Winstrike pretty soon too. So at Gambit, they are kind of looking for the fight, but they're a bit split up right now. Winstrike, the scan actually catches Winstrike on the high ground.
Dream's going to run into this. He's got the Blade Fury in time. Turns his attention over towards Cheshire Cat. No one coming in from the side. Rebel's ready to try and turn things around, though. Straight into the river they jump, looking towards Afterlife. Afterlife is going to get burst down there by the Dagon. Rebel gets the kill. Over towards Dream. Setups here with the Yules into the Supernova. Follow-up Whostomp. Cheshire Cat's able to get the jump. Dream's dead for sure.
Got him again.
As Dream goes down, they've got to run ASM Gambit, but they're not going to be able to do so. Immersion tethers over towards no one. Jump forward from the Sven. Still going to continue chasing, though. Sneko going to try and slow them down with the cask. And the Maledict. Cheshire Cat's in. They've found Sneko. Sneko trying to run, but the dust is out. Snakeo's going to get chased down by the stun. He'll fall over to the side. They've got the set up. The Remnant controls there onto no one. No one's still with the BKB available. With the Remnant away, they'll jump up to the safety of the high ground. Are they going to be able to chase? They won't. They'll hold back for now here.
But Roshan 10. These deaths are unbelievably costly. They're actually going to relocate to the base to try to force some reaction here. Try to get anything from the side of Winstrike. Because, yeah, Roche is back up in 2 seconds.
And top Immersion and no one.
He's dead.
Oh,
and now no one is going to die, too.
Oh, that Ice Blast as well. That was close.
Okay.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he actually survives.
Oh, my. What is going on here? I tell you, this game's getting a little messy.
Very messy. Dream is just dying by himself over and over and over again, I feel like, to 2 or 3 heroes on the side of Winstrike. As now Roche.
That's an easy Roche here for Winstrike.
And that's the Refresher Shard. So you know what, Rebel, he's got a free one if he wants to grab that for himself for more damage.
There we go. Easy Roche shot. I just on Rebel.
I didn't expect to say it would go on to Winstrike, but they get it.
They've got it. I mean, it's only a 3K difference right now here, 45 minutes, 34 to 28. I mean, they are down 2 sets of racks, but I mean, this game feels very easily losable for SM Gambit, with the way things are going. It's been up and down, as you can see, throughout the last bit of this, the action that we've been seeing here. Like, SM Gambit, they've got to tighten things up. If they continue to make moves like this, Winstrike, they'll take the win.
They absolutely will. I mean, this Sven is actually so strong. He's 25 also, so they have multiple level 25 cores now. He's got all of his items online to be able to one-shot or kill heroes in one stun combo, particularly the Jug that we've seen multiple times. Yeah, Gambit have totally thrown away their lead. Even though they have Brax advantage, these fights are not going to look easy for them now.
Gambit's got to be careful. Winstrike. Rebel's ready to make the jump. Dream, he can't afford to be the one that gets jumped to the front lines anymore.
No, definitely not. Yamich also having the double egg because they gave him the refresher shard. No one. They have a ward on top of him.
What's he doing? I mean, he wasn't ready, I guess, for that at all. Didn't expect them to be around here. I guess, you know, sees the AA, assumes what AA is on his own.
I guess. It was a nice play from Duracho. He blinked literally directly on top of him. So the stun was like...
I mean, they're pushing the high ground now.
Very tough to actually dodge. And yeah, Duracho.
There's a lot of damage here with the death ward. Yeah, he's got to be a little careful. And the Omni onto the side. And Yamich has still got the Supernova. Dream's going to try and commit onwards. Good bash to stop the dive, so they will manage to kill off Yamich.
Duracho's too low to fight, too. The Maledict put him down to 700 HP. Bottom wave heavily pushing it with double catapults. They do have to back away. All right, Gambit, are they going to be able to make a play back to catch anything here? They do have the Ninja Gear Jug looking for an opportunity. What a wild game.
All over the place, this one. And less than a 1k lead. We're pretty much even in net worth right now. There's no telling which way this is going to go. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, if you're sort of to consider the past results, I mean, maybe we are just seeing again here for SM Gambit some of the issues that they've struggled with in their other series, where even when they have such a great start, they just sort of falter in the later stages of the game. As you know,
yeah, I don't know if they like let their foot off the pedal or something like that. Now Afterlife also just getting caught. Rebel just assassinating him, and they just bought out on the ET. He just bought a Blink Dagger. So like, look at his inventory. It looks awkward now on the ET. He's got Blink, Hyperstone, a Basher. Like, I think Gambit may have gotten just a little bit too chilled out with this game because of how comfortable and how great the lead was.
Yeah, they had a great start. They had a great start, but yeah, seems to be a bit of a distant Dream now.
No one. He's playing more careful now. He's got the Aeon Disc locked in his bag, so if he does get jumped this next time, should be able to survive, setting up a defensive remnant as well, being a little bit more careful. I think he knows there's a ward now there too, or he should know because of the way they did jump him. Rebel still looking for the assassination.
He is, yeah. No one's got to play very careful.
He has a 7,000 gold now on Void Spirit too.
Gotcha. We'll be forced to BKB. No one, he's going to try and chase. He's going to try and chase. Think of the opening's done. Then move the Remnant. No one, he's able to get that Aeon Disc assembled, as you said. Assembles it in time, so he's going to be backed up now by Immersion. They're going to continue to try and keep this fight going, but they're diving in with the Supernova. As they can't take down this egg. They've got to get back from this. No one's had to buy back. Treasure cats in with the stun. They'll take him out with the tether. Relocate saves him, but he's back in the front lines of the second egg's ready to go. Dream's dead. Immersion as well. Even with the buyback there for no one, they can't turn it. As the refresher shard coming in big there for Yamich. Getting two excellent Supernovas off that forced the whole area to be somewhere impossible for SM Gambit to take a team fight into.
And Immersion, he was trying to just heal up the Jug because he was getting chased out, and it actually ends up tethering him and relocating back into the midst of the fight. Winstrike are now just in the lead of these fights. It really feels like over and over again.
It's 4k advantage, and as you say, you know, Railboy just sort of laughing all the way to the bank here with how much money he's got. He did, but what did he spend it up on? He just, was it BKB? Did he play it safe?
It is a BKB.
Playing it safe.
Yeah, he's staying safe.
I like it.
Dude, look how, I mean, he's actually having just such a spectacular game. Like, I can't actually believe this. Level 28, about to hit 29. 16, 114. He's still part of 30 of 33 kills.
Yeah, this is wild stuff from the Void Spirit. One of those games where like it's like he deserves to win. You know, he's played that well, Rebel.
Yeah.
You know, he has done so much this game. That's this has been incredible. As this fight,
the only reason they even killed Dyrachyo is because of the buyback from no one. So it's a costly kill just to get the Sven, who's going to be respawning as well himself soon.
Yeah, it's not like ASM Gambit are able to push anything in whilst he's dead, with them losing immersion and Dream themselves.
And now they'll even claim the outpost themselves, the secondary one, so they deny any vision, any little bit of experience toward the way of ASM Gambit. No Lotus Orbs, right? That's the thing
we have Lotus on Winstrike.
On the Centaur, right? Yeah,
we got
he's had it earlier for the Omni, but...
A couple of winners. Yeah, Omni's just got one as well.
Okay. They're missing one on Gambit. Like, they need one to be able to just reflect these stuns in particular, just any type of little things as well. They need more buff ups for Dream, it seems. Sure, he's got like the Glimmer, he's got the Mech and Solar, but definitely looking like he's needing Lotus. From the way that they're playing, too, they're just being very risky the way they've run him in. He's just getting chain stunned.
No Cheshire Cat. They don't want to go on him. He's got a cheese ready to pop.
And he's level 25 also on Cheshire Cat now too. So they've already done a great job of doing these like AoE stuns, like controlling the Jug. Now they have an extra second on the Hoof Stomp, and he has an Aghanims too for damage reduction. The fight's looking quite difficult, quite complicated. They're setting themselves up together though. They want to just get this push started. Aegis is gone.
Let's see what they can get done up here on this push.
Let's see.
I've been very cautious about it though. I don't want to go straight for a high ground attempt.
Nope. Egg also, or Phoenix, now also 25.
Mm-hmm.
So all these supports, everybody on the side of Winstrike really starting to hit that 25. Even AA about to.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I guess we are 52 minutes in, but yeah, still in comparison.
We are 52 minutes, yeah.
Seeing some great levels on Winstrike. I mean, mainly off the back of those last few times where they've been able to kill off these cores.
And now you see the Afterlife has gone back for the more sensible approach. You know, the Basher was cheeky. It worked like getting them like a 1 kill or 2, but he knows he needs AC. Like, it's just the better build with the Juggernaut with his team. Is trying to build up toward that.
It's going to be hard fights to take. We saw what Yamich was able to do with the Refresher Shard last fight. Now he's got a Refresher Orb, so he's going to have the double egg.
Yep.
They couldn't deal with it last time.
He scouted all 5. The Spirit hit every single one. They should be 100% aware of this on the side of Gambit.
On Afterlife.
Afterlife.
He's going to be fine. As the Spirit comes back in Immersion, though, he's going to get jumped. He has to tether over towards Dream. Going to have to chase here. They'll look to move in with a Supernova. Immersion will manage to relocate out in time. Dream's going to get left behind, though, here. Have they got the stun? They do. They just assimilate stuns in. They've got enough chain control, they don't, but they've got the Lotus out. Swiss Slash, but he's now got the Omni Slash good to go. Over he goes, over towards the center. Cheshire Cat getting low here, but Dream falls. He's out of the game. Dyrachyo now turns his attention over towards Afterlife. Afterlife, he's trying to run. He's into the trees with Cheshire Cat and Dyrachyo trying to chase him down. The paralyzing cast causing issues, though. As no one's bought time to jump back in straight over towards Dyrachyo. Dyrachyo does go down. So will Cheshire Cat here. They're going to be able to get the cleanup. This time round, ASM Gambit will find that team fight. And they take down all 5 members of Winstrike.
And I was worried for a second, too, because Dream had actually spent his buyback before the fight, so he didn't have it, but somehow they're able to take it with just the rest of them surviving. Immersion lives the entirety of the fight. Yeah. This IO just pumping out heals, Afterlife just pumping out the cleave damage, everyone all amped up.
I say this could be a pretty big window to maybe even close the game up for ASM Gambit. They are down Dream, but there's no buyback on the supports. Phoenix and AA won't be able to turn up for the defense here. We'll see how much they want to try and push it. Last set of racks it, as they could be eyeing up the mega creeps now, ASM Gambit.
This is such a wild game.
I know that.
Yeah, that's going to be
easily going to be able to find these racks here with the damage. There's going to be a buyback coming out. Actually, that buyback's going to spook them enough to stop pushing for the megas. Dyrachyo's ready to chase with the help of Rebel. Rebel's in with the Simulate. No, he's actually going to back off. Doesn't want to continue to commit into the 4 of them. As ASM Gambit, they'll be happy with that. Forcing out a buyback and playing it safe. Not sticking around longer than they need to. Roshan is up, of course, so safe objectives available for them to try for.
They should scout it. One of them should have something in there. They're going to have the Jug respawning shortly. They're still continuing to force the issue top, but I feel like one of them should go back for this Roche really soon. And they're starting to ping it out.
No one's still sticking around. He wants the megas.
Dream was pinging Roche. No one just wanted to go in a little bit harder. Just try to force more. He will refill, come back, has 8,000 gold, so he can buy his own refresher himself, so he can have what, 5-10 remnants
Yeah.
inside of the fight.
We're going to have some big items here. I mean, who's taking the Ags? I guess all the cores have already got theirs. Maybe
Give it an Echo.
Give it an Echo. You know, he's been dropping some great death wards. Who's taking what here? Refresher shard out by now for Dream. And yeah, they're giving Snakos into the pit.
Hell
He'll grab
yeah.
that. Lovely stuff here. As that death ward's certainly going to cause issues. If he's able to get it off for a good duration in the team fight.
Oh.
And the 25, the death ward damage.
And that might also cause some issues too. There's a heart on the IO. That is a insane amount of regen now that he's going to be pumping out to his teammates. And it's going to be way harder for them to focus him. And he's got a cheese also for the secondary buildup. This Minotaur horn we've seen too a couple times saving his life.
I mean, you know, they're 22k up now. They've just killed Brosh. They should have everything required to close the game. I say that, though. Afterlife's in trouble. He goes down.
Meg?
They're over towards Immersion. The egg will get killed off. Immersion's still alive for now. It's a long death ward, though, coming out for Sneko.
So
Cheshire Cat's
tanky.
trying to find him. Dracho's getting Omni Slash. He's going to die. Dracho's down. So's Yavich. Cheshire Cat also in trouble. He can't run. 3 dead. No buyback. Make that 4. ASM Gambit. They'll finally be able to close it up here as they move on to the tier 4s. GG is called. It took a lot of effort from them here. Winstrike able to really give them some excellent fight right up until this 56-minute mark. But at the end of it all, they do finally close it up, Fog.
That had to have been stressful for ASM Gambit, I'll be totally honest with you. They did some really weird plays where they're getting caught solo a couple times. They actually brought Winstrike back in the game entirely because of that. Rebel, definitely have to give him a humongous shout out though. This Void Spirit performance.
And he loses.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
somehow
gonna feel
he
bad.
loses.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really close game across it all. I think little things in the end really did matter though. Just the IO getting away, the ET Spirit, this amplified damage, the Ember Spirit just surviving too. They had to burn so much to kill the Jug in the last fight. No one actually was able to just go ham. A couple times we did see in the fights that he just got fully controlled and he couldn't do anything. That last fight, he definitely popped off, like 10 sleights of fist, 10 chains, etc. Some crazy stuff. ASM Gambit finally bringing it back.
No, indeed.
What a game.
Yeah, pretty insane Dota coming out. And, keeps everyone sitting on the edge of their seat there. No real telling of who's able to close that game up right into the final minute, really. As we just didn't know. As looking forward to see what the rest of the series beholds. First game, though, starts it off. AS Monaco Gambit will finally be able to close up the victory and get the lead here. 1-0 at the moment for them.
What a crazy, crazy game. And yeah, shout out to Rebel, man. That poor guy, he definitely deserved to win there. Unfortunately, Dota 2 is a team game, and Winstrike will lose this initial game against AS Monaco Gambit. We'll break that crazy game down a little bit further, all after the break. We are having some fun here on the desk, and it helps because we've had some pretty crazy Dota to watch here. I was so certain that AS Monaco Gambit had won this game. 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, I'm like, okay, this is AS Monaco Gambit's got this, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait,
watch the man.
Is Winstrike gonna win this?
Briefcase.
Slap, slap. Woo!
That is what a beast.
Oh, it's so refreshing. The stapler, the
Unbelievable.
briefcase, the suitcase coming into play.
That is Core ET. I'm telling you, this is real. My brother Zach, I love him. He's always right, but he's always early, which is sort of the same as being wrong. But he's been a stand for ET Core for literally since the Ags was affecting ET this way. It is absurd. That was like a 2-item ET smacking people for 1 billion damage.
Yeah, I was certainly impressed at how Afterlife was able to have a big impact in the game. And it all comes from having the Ags, which is, again, something that they did set him up for. They made sure he had a good game, right, Robson?
Yeah, this game was a little bit of a roller coaster. Early game, Gambit crushed it. Absolutely destroyed the game, flooding the map. And then a couple, loose misplays gave Winstrike that ability to come back in. And it was because of Afterlife, this ET, that constant threat of the stapler, it rinsed Sven. Like 2 or 3 fights in a row, Sven just automatically died. He just wasn't ready for that amount of damage. And then sure, we can fast forward to that mid-game where there's a little bit of a Ember dying here, and then ET finally got picked off. But yeah, I think overall, Afterlife, this ET, he had such a solid entry to the game, and he was able to just carry the guys through thick and thin.
And someone who didn't have the same kind of good game would be the Centaur. He actually got shut down in lane. The most popular off-laner got countered. How did that happen? We've got Purge for more.
Thanks, Cap. I got to tell you, after watching so many games of watching Centaur do literally whatever he wanted to in lane, I had a lot of enjoyment watching this Witch Doctor own this lane. The benefits of Witch Doctor: huge base damage. Witch Doctor rating for 56 damage on average with 0 stat items. He gets Cask at level 1 to help secure range creeps to make sure they hit their level 2 timing. And then when you hit level 2, you've got Maledict. It's a magic damage over time amplifier. Damage done increases the amount of damage you do, and because they hit level 2 a little bit before Phoenix does, there's no worry about dive, and they can combo the jug spin against the Phoenix to do a huge amount of damage. He doesn't actually die here, but what it does give them is time for more setup to get more harassing. Here now Christchurch having to TP towards the tower because otherwise he was guaranteed dead, and that's what's so cool about this combo. Magic damage is generally the counter against Centaur, and it's an amplifier, which is all really effective against him. So that paired with Jug Spin is a perfect solution. Here's Soneko's solo kill. He basically mimicked to the right like he was not going to cut back. He did. Yamich had already used dive to block the small camp. That's what got him first blood and boots. And then with those boots, they continue to do annoying things to Centaur. Here's Centaur. Have you ever seen a Centaur in the first 5 minutes of the game not approach the creep wave? Well, he can't, because he can't even defend himself. If he tries to go in, Jug is going to use spin and stun is wasted. And then all this magic damage they're doing isn't giving them return damage back with his passive. So it's just not an advantage. And they just consistently ran him down. They did not want him to get near the creep wave. He buys a ring of health. He approaches again, but Snakeo's lying in wait. And as soon as he spots him, keep in mind he has boots. He stays out of hoof stomp range. He throws Maledict. He throws a stun, a little tree cut, a spin, and now you've got Centaur dying for the first time. But he's already struggled so much just to get to this point. Now he goes to cut waves. Soneko waits. They teleport Jug over from his safe lane tower to the tier 2, so he doesn't expect him to be there. This is normally a safe place to farm for offlaners like this. He ends up dying here. And then Snake grabs the DD. He gets a solo kill on Yamich. This is a pretty big mistake by Yamich because he did see him coming and he saw the DD. But great play by Soneko. And once again, Jug now hitting 6. There's the Maledict. Here's the Cask. Is there anything that Soneko can't do other than miss this one Maledict all game? Really well played by him. A glory to watch Centaur get shut down.
I'm a little bit surprised Purge didn't throw in that. The last clip I would have requested there would have been Soneko level 6 with Death Ward killing Yamich with a level 3 Phoenix.
Oh, that was so
because
satisfying.
that lane went so well. Witch Doctor, I mean, we've been talking about it. It's a beef meta. Witch Doctor, percentage-based damage, basically, right? And a great laner against many of these tanky heroes.
But I love how this game also covered what can go wrong with a Witch Doctor. When the game gets a little bit harder, it's really hard to get that here into the game. So he had the perfect start, and he was able to kind of cushion that through with his early levels. So yeah, good stuff from Soneko.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Okay, good stuff. That's all we need to say because we do have a Game 2 draft that's coming up very quickly. It was a long game, so let's go to the break and let's get back for Game 2. So after such a weird game one, I am very curious. I didn't ask you guys, where do you have a favorite now for this series? Like, if you would ignore the fact that AS Monaco's Gambit up 1-0, say this was just a fresh series and we're playing out a best of 3, would you have a favorite between these two teams?
I would lean towards Gambit just because of how controlling they were in the early game. I feel like they had a couple egregious mistakes that allowed Winstrike to get back into it. And you can credit a lot for Winstrike knowing when to find those pickoffs when that overpositioning was occurring. But yeah, I think Gambit for sure are slightly more favorite just with how they controlled the early game of this first game.
So it sounds like to me the foundation is there for AS Monaco Gambit. They just made mistakes,
Exactly,
very obvious mistakes that are easy to fix.
And it was tough, though, because they're playing against a draft that doesn't really forgive you for messing up. It's a stun, AA blast. Like,
don't forget the egg. That's also
too.
kind of annoying.
So screwing up, the egg is probably the best example. Did you kill the egg? Oh, you're winning the fight. Did you not? Well, you've just gotten wiped. And not to mention, they did go 0-3 against the top teams. Yes, it makes their record look poor, but they learned this is a serious team, serious organization, serious players. There's no way they're just gonna, phone it in for the rest of the season. They're trying their hardest.
Unless Monaco Gambit's got Monaco's only got a 1-year contract, and it's like, okay.
What do you mean? It's still, dude. Gambit's a big deal. They have the best merch out.
They're bomber jackets.
Yeah.
From 2019 Birmingham.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do them, but
they do.
They were comfy.
Yeah. Their CSGO team's top 5 in the world right now.
Is this where we now
top
shield
3.
for one to be sent to us, or what are we doing?
I'm just trying to say respect.
Yeah, it's very comfortable.
Of course, I'm a big fan of the clothing given to us by ESL 1.
That's true. I'd love more of it. The color scheme, the fit, the paneling.
Hey, Kyle, do you love it?
You love it? It adds
you wear it,
squat.
right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right, Cap. Oh my God.
You're gonna like the way you look.
I love the way that you look.
All right, enough of that shilling. Grimstroke and Void Spirits, I don't think, man, I just keep on going back to poor Rebel, man. Like, that guy deserved to win that game.
No, but actually, counter-argument.
He didn't die for 40 minutes.
Counter-argument.
Okay.
Can we get back to shilling real fast?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I've been pitching, and if anyone from BizDev is listening, there's a brand called, I don't want to shill it, but basically they specialize in trimmers, okay?
Oh, yeah,
body hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, my God.
That would be such a great activation, right?
No one wants to see you. Please say you're not using the product, right?
We would blur out
Oh, yeah. So now we can see
naughty bits.
A blurred
but
Kyle.
I'm just saying, I've seen some of my colleagues' chests and backs,
Kyle,
and they could use some grooming. That's all I'm saying.
Just
think about
say
it.
my name if you want. You've seen my chest hair. It's majestic. You don't have to. What are you saying?
So Winstrike are going to be picking the Storm Spirits, while AS Monaco Gambit have Void Spirit. Very interesting, boys.
This
Full
leads into
sporty
plan
spirit
B,
heroes.
where we get the hot tub. But first, we need to.
Oh yeah, no. That's true. That's true. I know. I rate.
Sorry, Cap. We're back to the draft. Void Spirit, Storm Spirit.
Broadcast.
But what do you mean? Cap, you're sitting on the desk.
Yeah, that's because I'm not on camera.
Your shoes are untied.
No, they're not. I don't even have to look.
Your flies are undone.
That is also not true.
Thanks for the high five, Kyle.
I like the Winstrike setup. I like Storm. This hero, I know he keeps getting first 2, but I still feel it's underrated because you just can't replace it. Grimstroke, we were discussing, has a slight nerf that seems altogether irrelevant. It's a 0.2 second less stun at max level, and then a 2% reduced move speed. It's like 16 now instead of 18%, which is just, it's one of those tweaks. It's just how do you test that?
They just got to the hero and it's like, we need to. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Yeah, that's fine. To be fair though, the hero has got a terrible win rate in the pro scene. It is because so many teams like picking it. You do kind of tank the stats of these kind of lesser teams, giving it a go and then losing, of course. But I like how in the openings from both teams, you have the active mid enabled by the best support, right? Storm Tusk. Tusk is the tanky frontline, unlocks the vision of the fight. You can also go for your shard, send in your sigil, opens up Storm to get the perfect zip. On the flip side, Void Spirit, he lacks a little bit of damage sometimes. He needs that +1 accelerant. That's where the Grimstroke comes in. So yeah, heavily enabling the mids with the supports they've counterpicked with them.
Well, Let us see.
Monaco Gambit.
I'm shocked I guess you don't want to pick Jug into Storm, but to ban it yourself when you have Grimstroke.
It's enabling the Void Spirits game. He's a hero that likes to jump in and be decisive. Oracle sits behind. You can't really do that on Void Spirit unless you're finding him. Always a difficult game plan. Wraith King and Jug carries are independent. They thrive on the aggression.
This is that combo right here. Minus armor.
Dude, that change didn't even feel that good. The 8 to 6 seconds. It's like that's still enough time to slap the roast. And also, if you hold the last point, you can then reset that debuff anyway.
Exactly.
So it's technically like 12.
I like it though because it does add a bit of a skill cap
16.
in a way. It's why I also like the Lina Fervor change because sure, it wasn't even like being good to manage your 3 fervor stacks. It was just annoying because you would have to slay Dragon Slave with like 1 second remaining on your buff. Yeah. And it was tedious.
It's impractical.
Yeah. Because like, oh, do I want to lose my buff or do I want to miss the nuke on the camp? It was silly.
Yeah. Just start using it randomly.
So because we ended up going for supports and mids at the very start of the draft, somehow Centaur was still left out. And Winstrike just gave it away. They gonna get Mars for themselves here or something?
I honestly...
The issue here, I wouldn't mind like a dark, so it's like a bit more for pacing. But they also could just go for their carry right now because they see what the offlane is going to be presenting. It is surprising to see Centaur get through this far. Specifically because like to counter it in lane, it's a very small niche group of heroes that also aren't really too good into the meta. Like Jug's banned, of course.
Yeah,
don't want to go Slark. They can't go Monkey. Monkey's dead.
I'd argue that Gambit had the go-to combo to beat a Centaur, Witch Doctor Jug. Like you really can't come up with something much better. And then they also had an ET, which was so value as an offlaner. Winstrike banned it out first too. So I think this is the dream.
I mean, like
they had an answer to the Centaur.
What do you guys think of Lifestealer?
Very good.
Instead of trying to kill the Centaur, just survive? Nope.
Lifestealer is for sure one of the better heroes against Centaur. It's more of a hero that plays independent rather than enabling the support to come in as well. You can get kills, but yeah. They go for the Sven instead. It's a hero that simply looks at the lane, farms it out as much as Centaur farms it out. You go optimize yourself into the jungle, Centaur just stays in the lane.
Yep.
Maximizing your map kind of.
You could Lifestealer here. It's a really good matchup against the Sven. Not ideal against Storm, but I think that you have enough catch.
Medusa.
I was going to say the same, but
that's why
I don't know if it's meta.
Psychic. Meta. Hellraiser's played it this morning. Kuman, he also went for a Diffusal Blade.
Really?
On the Medusa, yeah. Just trying to rip through these.
It doesn't split shot mana burn.
No. But it's about just ripping through the hero.
Well, you get the 25 talent,
yeah, 25.
still modifiers?
Yeah. There you go for Lifestealer.
Alrighty, so ES Monaco Gambit are now just left with...
I'm sorry. He muted the mic to lecture me.
Yes.
He doesn't like when I make him look bad, which is somewhat ironic because he takes
all right, Kyle,
every
don't
opportunity
just lie now.
to make...
Kyle, don't lie now. Don't lie now, honey bun. We spoke about this.
Okay,
I love you.
Okay.
You know, I was trying to cover for both of you by talking while you guys muted yourself and had a conversation.
It's fine.
It's much more fun to work with the mute button. I got to tell you.
I know, it's so refreshing when you just want to like hit a quick jibe, like, bam, 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 and then like, oh, what happened? No one knows. It's when the mute button doesn't work. That's
it. When you think you have a mute button, but you don't.
I hope the mute button worked. That's a good joke.
That is a tough one.
That is a tough
one. The Razor ban is also a tough one, along with the Necro, because those are the best options of dealing with what AS Monaco Gambit have in store. And if I'm them, I'm just picking a team fighter now, right? You need a final 4 position. Maybe a Willow?
I still want the Willow here. Willow
looks really good because it's the root mechanic against Storm, against Tusk. Really annoying to deal with as a Sven as well. You just can't kill the fairy.
Oh, SD was a nice one as well. But yeah, I think these are the same bands from the last game. Is it just going to be the Willow? Oh, wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
I dig it, though. They had a lot of success with the Wisp.
Yeah. Winstrike's lineup is about, do we have God Strength? Do we get that critical zip off to kill them? And now, Void Spirit's elusive, Centaur's hard to kill, Lifestealer's hard to kill. The only hero dying right now is going to be the Grimstroke. And, Seneco, he thrives in this.
How long was that last game? I think that might have been the longest of the season.
I mean, it's like 56 minutes. I can quickly fact check you if you'd like.
I can't think of one that was longer.
Well, I'll check for you. Don't worry, mate.
It's interesting how the meta's changed. game.
Oh my God! A last pick Timber?
No.
Oh boy. Is it just me, or it feels like to me Winstrike forgot Centaur was in the game, and then AS Monaco Gambit forgot that Timbersaw was in the game.
Wow, that's such a dream Timber. Yeah, sure, the Lifestealer can be a bit of an issue, but man, this is one of Cheshire Cat's best heroes, and you don't really have an answer on the side of AS Monaco Gambit. Like, this is nuts.
I was discussing how Gambit's draft is all about sustain, playing around the big cooldowns of like the Sven ultimate, and that's about it. But now with this Timbersaw pick, he plays off of the fact that the early entry to the game from Gambit is so hard. They're locked into items, not levels. So Timbersaw offsets that. Sven goes jungle. I love this last pick, and it is enough to put the balance into Winstrike.
Whoa. I think this hero, they have two of my favorite heroes in Dota right now, Storm and Timbersaw.
Wow.
They're infinite scaling. They have a Sven, so the team will scale better. And it is really just a mirror match of our previous game, where if you're going to win this as Monaco Gambit, you have to play with a lot more tempo. You need your Lifestealer ahead and running at enemy heroes with this armlet, maybe into Deso, maybe an Echo Saber, rushed AC, something like that, and then playing with the Wisp, splitting the map, find kills, skirmishes all over.
I guess the key thing is, even though it's an amazing Timbersaw game, if you can find the space on that to ignore him long enough, Lifestealer into Sven, of course, goes Lifestealer's way. You can then offset that, and now the win condition isn't online. So it's very much for Winstrike to utilize that Timbersaw, unlock the Sven's game, get Aegis, look to end the game before you have some mid to late game annoyance of IO, sustain.
And Storm's just finding your Wisp all game too. So it's really just about getting ahead early. I think shutting him down will be key.
Kyle, you said it was kind of a mirror of last game. Why are you leaning more towards Winstrike this time around?
I think it's just solid. It's just easier to execute. I like a Sven more than a Jug. I like Timbersaw just in general. And,
against all the strength heroes.
It just makes more sense.
Kind of like the X factor here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see if that Timbersaw does manage to even out the series for Winstrike. Let's head over to ODPixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yes, we had a pretty crazy game one of this best of three. Fogged, seeing the drafts here, are we going to get just as crazy of a game this time round, or do you feel that someone has got one of those heroes that's going to sort of just control and be king of the whole game? As it does seem like the panel, they really rate that Timbersaw final pick here from Winstrike.
How did they get a last pick Timbersaw? This hero's been banned like first 2, first 3, first 4 most games. I'm very surprised it made it through, especially if they're going to be going for the IO pick, right? IO overall suffers a lot versus Timbersaw. You don't provide lockdown for your team. He's able to get on top of you. He's able to always just bring you down so quick with that pure damage, and the Whirling Death, of course, with the stat loss. I don't know. I'm just surprised to see it make it all the way through. But the good thing from Gambit is they do have very aggressive heroes. Just like last time, the Void Spirit, in particular, no one this time around should be pretty free. There's a lot of telegraphed stuns. Does just have to watch out pretty much just for the Storm connection onto him. Besides that, no one should have a pretty solid game on this Void Spirit, just like Rebel did last time.
30 seconds to battle.
All right, well, let's see. Let's see if indeed Cheshire Cat can have a bit of a better time this time round, at least at the start, because we saw him struggle a lot last game in the laning stage.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. I'll be honest, because of the way that Dream played in the last game. Because a lot of this game is going to be up to the Lifestealer, what he builds and how he plays overall. And he made so many mistakes. He actually made so many mistakes in the last game that just brought Winstrike back. And this Lifestealer is like the most important hero. Like, his build has to be perfect.
Well, let's see. Let's see how Dream's able to do this time round. And we'll, of course, again have the strong backing of the IO.
But they don't have the strong backing of Afterlife, who pretty much kind of took that game into his hands as a carry from the offlane. Centaur, you're not going to be dishing out that much damage. You're going to be dishing out the control for the most part. So see if Afterlife's able to at least do that front for himself on the Centaur.
I'll be interested to see how well no one can do in the mid matchup against the Storm, because sometimes we have seen Storm Spirits just straight up win the lane against Void.
Yeah, you should. Storm should be able to take advantage of that one quite nicely. It's going to get pushed in all the way, so no one should be able to farm under his tower here, but that also means Rebel, he's at level 2. There's no denies coming up in the Void Spirit yet, so he can bully no one just a tiny bit just with some extra right clicks. And they did actually do this, so it's going to be the Grimstroke as a 4 position in a way, playing with the Centaur, and the IO has to just play with the Lifestealer top. So it's a bit of a switch up. We don't see 4 quote-unquote Grim played very often.
Oh, well, I mean, and what does it sort of mean when you've got this here in this position? Is there any sort of item that you're looking to rush early? Like, what are the benefits of having it played down here?
Well, I think it's just that he wants to have a strong lane with the Centaur that they can actually contest range creeps. IO doesn't provide you a way to secure range creep.
Yeah.
Grimstrike will. So I'm saying 4, you know, I said quote unquote, because I think he's going to kind of be relegated to the 5 position at some point anyway, because that's just how IO works. But he can't secure range creeps. I say that as he actually just sets up the range creep for deny down bottom.
And then top lane, the Cheshire Cat, what can they do to sort of stop him from having such a good game as the Timber? Is there any sort of... You feel whatever happens, Cheshire Cat is just going to have an easy time? Like that?
Yep.
They'll have to win the game around him.
Yeah, no, there's nothing they can do to push him out. He's got level 3 already. Their heroes just, they don't do damage. Like, they can chase him and be a little annoying. Dream can just sustain through him, but as for killing him or pushing out a lane, no. They'd have to bring like a 3rd or 4th hero or something like that, which you're not going to be doing so early on. Sustain game works though. As you see Dream, he just hits him, hits the creep as well. He's able to just keep full health with the overcharge as well. Immersion just has to be very wary of his positioning. He's the only one who can really die up here on both sides. Only way the Tusk dies, Yamich, is if you make some huge mistake like rolling in or playing under tower. Bottom. Cookie does get dodged. Sineko actually going to live because of that.
And I mean, top, can they dive in? You know, Yamich is still sort of hanging around. You know, is there anywhere else that he can look to set up action, or is just this top lane really? Like, because he's not really needed to be here with the Timbersaw, is he? Like, Cheshire Cat will farm this lane happily solo.
He is blocking the camps though, so he's ensuring that the XP is getting split between the IO and the Lifestealer. So there's at least that, but I do want to see him maybe make moves pretty soon. Like, Cheshire Cat is perfectly fine up here, so I do think Yamich can open up the map, look to make plays bottom, even in mid. Sineko steps up way too far.
Ah, good little boost here for Dracho to start things off. First blood on the Sven.
I was about to say, I don't think we're going to have a kill for a while, too, because these lanes they're pretty static. They're pretty boring the way they will be. It's only a misplay that will cause that to happen. Sineko heavily misplays. He just walks right up into the 2 of them there. Pentleman now gets a pull off, too, because of it, so it will reset that lane position a bit. But Afterlife, he's kept the creep wave right outside the tower. Oh, and look at that. So he's got... Okay, so I guess with the Grimstrike as well, he's playing more about a kill Centaur rather than just the lane retaliate sustain. He's got 2 points in double edge. Usually you see just 2 points in retaliate, run away. You play more of this passive style and you farm against them.
Okay.
Nope, they're going to be looking for kills. These 2 points in double edge, so...
Yeah, I mean, will there be opportunities for kills, or you think it's going to be kind of hard against the Snap?
I think it should be pretty hard, yeah. I mean, they can get the Snapfire if he, like, messes up with the Cookie or something like that, but the Sven, I don't think they'll be able to get the Ratio unless, again, a huge misplay from him.
He's having the slow of the times in terms of course picking up farm in this laning stage. Mid lane. Oh, actually, Afterlife, he's got to get out of it, but the Cookie's in. Inkswell stun buys him some time. Pulse South will stop him from going down. But he may still die anyway. They're hunting in the trees. Afterlife. He's gone. So not only a salve being put to waste, also his life there as another kill here for Dracho in the safe lane.
Has to be cautious. Centaur, very low armor. Snapfire, the queen of reducing armor. I was going to say the king of reducing armor. Wait, she's a queen.
No, absolutely. A little shredder in this lane. Just really setting up for the Sven to get these heavy hits in very early on.
And they're moving. Okay, I love this. Look at Yamich's movement. The Centaur just TP'd down bottom, so if they kill him again, he's screwed. And they're going to go for it right away.
Cookie in, bringing in extra TPs as well. But Yamich is here. They've got Afterlife. There's no escape.
Great move.
No one trying to play with the counter. Coming in with the jump over towards Dracho. He's out to the side. It's going to save him. Ratio's out. No one trying to get in to rectify the bottom lane. He couldn't get anything. Now it's just another kill, another death here for the Centaur.
And he tips him. Nice. Got him. Make him feel bad for his rotation for sure. As he does survive Ratio. He will have to go back to base, but whatever. Pantomime now takes the lane, which never feels bad. Snapfires love it. 5 and 9 on Pantomime too. He's been getting some hefty denies in this bottom lane.
Yamich has come over to the mid, but knows that... Well, actually, no one didn't have any further escape out. They felt they didn't have enough damage between the 2 of them to commit onto the Void Spirit.
Love this move though from Yamich. Like what he's doing right now is he actually just
Wait, what?
He almost got the bounty rune.
Oh, I did. I thought he did actually. Yeah, but Suneko.
I did too.
Yeah, I was like, hang on.
Suneko?
And then Suneko was actually able to pick it up in time. As
they slow him.
Ended up being a bit of a bait, but no, Afterlife can't get in for the hoof stomp. So Yamich will get away. That's a good job he did grab that. That would have looked pretty funny if he didn't. But,
yeah.
Suneko.
But this whole rotation from Yamich is excellent, right? Like he's now forced the Centaur to be super afraid. Afterlife now being zoned off the wave, just like we saw last game from Cheshire Cat. Just from this little rotation, just not wanting to die a secondary time. As Rebel, he saw the stacks from that Tusk movement from earlier. They're going to start working on them. They actually have to start swinging over the IO and the Void Spirit to stop this. 4v4, let's go.
Noah is going to try and jump in to start the fight. We'll be able to dodge the stun. Noah's Courier is going to get taken out. They've got him in the Vortex into the Cookie. Noah still with an Astral Step at the ready. Jumps back over towards Pantomime. They're in with the X-Well stun onto the two of them. Follow of Hoof Stomp. They've caught the Sven. They've caught the Storm. Rebel. He's got a little bit more mana to play with. They're running him down. No one's going to have an ability up in a second. As indeed Rebel cannot get out. As they may have got in and taken some of the stacks away, but losing both the mid and the carry for that attempt.
It ends up, yeah, definitely not worth bringing both of them, that's for sure. A painful hit, and it's a good place for Gambit to collapse like this with their heroes, right? With the 2 points in Double Edge, with 2 points in Inkswell, it looks beautiful. And a bit of a mistake too. I think Dyrachyo using the Stormhammer onto the Void Spirit was a bit of a slip up there. He should save it for one of the easier targets to hit because no one dodged it, and then that's like their big setup stun. They had to throw everything else onto him, and they still couldn't bring him down. A bit of a slip up there from the side of Winstrike. I didn't see who cleared up the whole stack though. I think it was a bit split.
We're going to jump in along the river. They're going to like to try and get in on this. The Snowball will save him for the Inkswell stun. Allows Rebel to push on, but no one's in with the counterplay. Comes in with the Astral Step, and Rebel's going to be careful. Doesn't want to go onto the high ground.
Top rune. The racing toward it. Rebel. He's going to try to force Immersion to take it. And he will not be able to. Great jump from no one. While bottom also, again, they get another kill onto Afterlife. The God Strength plus that minus armor. They also have Medallion. He dies very quickly. Centaur is struggling in this series.
Yeah, it seems like both teams have just had pretty good answers to it in the lane.
Yeah, I like the concepts of just the Witch Doctor in the first one and just the Snapfire versus the Centaur in this one too. Just the minus armor in one way to be able to, because Centaur is good versus the effective physical damage, but when you're that reduced, you're not that good versus it at all. And then the other one, the Maledict, super effective as it is all that magic damage. Yeah, I like it. I like both approaches. And that does mean that this Snapfire getting so involved down bottom, he's going to be 6 any moment now.
That's going to be a fast time, and they've got pretty good ways to set up for Pantomime to sit at the back of the fight and get the kisses off. Whether it be...
I mean, Afterlife is still 5, so no Stampede, and the Snapfire is already 6. This next fight could be huge if Winstrike's able to get a positioning for the Snapfire. But Gambit, they're rotating down. They've spotted him. He's dead.
Pantomime pretty dead here. There's no one able to get him with the jump. And with the Arcane going, he'll continue to push on.
He might know that there's a ward down bottom somewhere because of the way that no one did jump instantly. Top, we're seeing Dream doing a great job. He's just rushed that Maelstrom versus the Timbersaw. He's able to sustain versus him decently.
Has to be a little careful up here. I guess actually he's got Immersion around. Cheshire Cat's got a TP down bottom. As he's going to look to just move over here and position himself though, so he can stop them from taking an early tier 1.
I like it. Yep. I like that whenever I see these movements from Timbers. You're just unkillable beast. Don't let them get any type of map advantage. 10 minutes hits.
On there, Yamich. I mean, he's getting a lot of action here on the Void Spirit. Finds the setup onto Yamich. But with the Phantom's Embrace, keeping him completely silenced. There's not a chance. Rebel's coming in with a haste rune. Wants to try and find Suneko in return. He gets the silence out, but Bug's taken away. And Suneko will still be found. It's Rebel able to get something in return here. Both mids starting to get some kills.
Yep. And they actually killed the Yule Scepter. Did a creep end up finishing it? Wait, what?
Okay, yeah, where was it going? I guess it must have.
I thought I saw the Snapfire hitting it, but then it looks like a creep maybe last hit it? Like a Null Assassin, Vul Assassin or something hit it? I don't know. Oh well. That is the Yule Scepter, at least the recipe dead. And he would have it done now, too. So a minute and a half where no one is not going to have that.
Yeah, how are we doing on the Orchid timing for Rebel? He's very close to it, so he's actually going to be able to have it for a bit of a window now where Yeah, he'll have the Orchid and the Yules won't be ready for no one.
That will be huge. Yeah, if he makes the move in the next 30 seconds or so. And he's got Fairy Trinket too, so perfect pickup for the Storm. Ancient's now starting to get worked on for Afterlife. He's now gone back into the Retaliate build after putting the 2 points in Double Edge. Looks like they're attempting to go for a smoke here, but the creeps keep hitting Afterlife for a sec. Let's see what they're able to make. If they can catch Cheshire Cat alone with 0 stacks, they might have the control and damage, but is that the target you want to go for? Looks like it will be.
They're going to try, see if they can burst him. Have they got enough damage? Yeah, with Dream coming in as well. They will. They need to
nice
commit
hit, but
a
the
lot.
relocate spotted.
Yep.
Pantomime sees it.
Can they do it on the way back? Rebel. He's in position. Dream's going to come back over, but the IO very dead. Can they get Dream as well? They got the punch up. Rage comes to an end. Dream's into the creep though, and the backup's here. No one. Jumps in with the Astral Step. They're able to soul bind the two of them together as Pantomime and Jamage will be punished. As ASM Gambit, they can swing over in time to make sure that, you know, that they punish Winstrike for trying to stick around and fight on the return of the IO.
And they're doing it with speed. That's the important thing that we saw last time also from Gambit, just playing quick around the map. And that was the window, right? That was where Storm has Orchid. The Yules was not finished up on the Void Kids at base. The Yules is now coming out to be delivered. So will be a little bit harder for Rebel to find that target at the least.
Dream getting the time and space now to clean up the Ancients, get the Sanj out on top of the Maelstrom. So, you know, that combined with the backup of Immersion is going to make him a rather tough target to jump upon.
I want him to get the Halberd. I think I'd like Halberd Maelstrom this game, and then he can go for something like Scotty. I think Scotty's still really effective versus Timbersaw and Sven, because you know that they're going to get BKB on Sven eventually. Timber's health reduction and just the chase overall. I think that could be a really nice if Dream's able to get it. Cheshire Cat really diving forward here.
And then they're diving in deep here, and they'll be able to burst Afterlife. No struggles there with the setup of Rebel heading in from the side. Now they'll give them the space to probably take this tier 1 tower. No one's still hanging around. Cheshire Cat diving in onto Sneko. Sneko, he doesn't want to mess around with the Timber anymore. Immediately TP's out. They get the tower, Winstrike.
And a D-ward. Nicely done. Pantomime's still not able to find a window to use Mortimer Kisses. It feels bad when he was level 6 so early on. Okay, so Dream's just going to go SNY instead. I mean, that's fine too. I think Halberd feels a little... It feels really nice versus Sven overall, because he never wants to build MKB. The evasion and the disarm is super strong, but he's going to just go for SNY for status res anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Still super strong.
Yeah, just better for his own game personally, I guess, when it comes to farming and moving around the map and chasing down. No, nothing to be found there. Sneko preparing in case a jump was to be made. Farm-wise, yeah, Dream still keeping himself at the top. Sven catching up a little bit, but so far so good here from Dream.
Very close early game here. This Lifestealer just a bit ahead of his counterpart. Now we see Gambit, they're finding a window to push bottom. They have spotted Afterlife up top though. Even though he's Vanguard for the Centaur, he's only got 5 armor. So Medallion plus Little Shredder and tag team, they'll kill him in no time.
Bottom tower is under attack.
They know he's still over here too. Pantomime is very well aware. Keeps pinging out the side over here, but won't be able to scout him out. Just chilling. Digs up a bounty rune on Afterlife.
Bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Very patient on Afterlife.
I don't think he's going to be... I mean, he's sticking around. Might be able to cut a creep wave after the tower's gone down, but... And mid lane's going to be the... Yeah, just the turn up a Cheshire Cat, and that's all that's needed, really, to stop them pushing.
They get the setup on top, though. They're just stuck around.
And he's been left behind. I mean, that'll do there for ASM Gambit. Getting Dratcher whilst the rest of Winstrike have retreated.
They're on the reload, so Immersion, he will just go down. But a nice play there from ASM Gambit, just chilling. They were just so patient from Afterlife to get some extra information too. They did have that ward that was up there to see some TPs canceled, and they just went Yeah, Mitch.
Trying to see if they can...
He's death's hurt. Sven getting slowed down a lot.
Yeah,
already now where the
falling.
Lifestealer's already ahead of him, so that means he's going to have this one up of an item. If this Lifestealer's actually, I like this actually, the Bastion with the SNY is also a good one.
They're going to try and see if they can burst Cheshire Cat, but backup's in. They're coming from the side with the snowball straight down on towards Snako. Snako falls. Yamich getting turned upon here by Dream. Dream's got the damage. They take down Yamich in return. They're going to try and chase for more. Relpul's low on mana. As Dracho comes in, going to try and focus the IO, but they're controlling him with the Yule Scepter. He's trying to turn a fight into Dream with the God Strength, but he just doesn't do enough damage, and now the Remnant pulls out. Dracho is going to get burst down.
Uh-oh.
As Dracho falls yet again, Dream's game continuing to get propelled so far ahead of that of the Svens. And they're going to continue to chase here. Panto is out to the side. He's going to try for the TP out, but the damage is there. Dream takes down another as the distance between him and Dracho Sven just grows and grows.
I can't... Dyrachyo showing back up to the fight. He's hurting his own game so much as the Sven showing back up into the fights. Dream can just fight versus him easily. He didn't even have the SNY out because his courier actually died with his Yasha. This was before he even had his full kit of his items, and he's going to have another item on top of the Sven. Fights are starting to look quite difficult for Winstrike. Even though they got, what, a full Mortimer kiss-off onto everybody, they still couldn't really kill any of the big targets. They only kill that Centaur.
It's just a 1k gold difference, but we're really feeling the difference in the carries. A lot of weight on Winstrike's other two cores, the Storm and Timber, to really pop off in the fights, as they've got some carrying to do here whilst they buy time for the Sven Dracho to get in a place where he's going to be able to turn up and clean up in these fights. As over the river, they got enough burst, they do. They're able to make the jump, lock him down, no one will fall.
And they're going to get even another surprise. They're going to get the relocate kill too. A big hit from Winstrike. No one getting caught off guard, but I don't think he's expecting the consistency of chain stun coming out from Winstrike. That was really nicely done with the cookie. Just perfectly using every single disable. Dyrachyo though, he has to be careful. He at least has Lord Vision up here.
And he's got the team coming over. Winstrike.
Okay.
Looking for Snako. Snako just hiding in the trees here.
Oh, they don't see him. He throws the scan out. He knows they're all around him. Look at the ward coverage of this enemy jungle right now. Winstrike. Not able to find Snako.
Oh, very nice hiding spot.
All right, so Dream, this matchup starts to get pretty hard for the Sven too as it does progress. Sure, Sven starts to deal more damage, but Lifestealer's talents really start to kind of break the matchup, especially when he hits 20. Sure, it's still some time away, but as we said, evasion is going to be devastating for this Sven to deal with. And this Lifestealer just has he has a full item on top of the Sven, and it's going to just keep getting worse if he doesn't start getting a successful fight.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they're looking for him. Like, Gambit is just constantly hunting for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, they know that he's having to spend time picking his game back up, and he is getting it. With the passive moments, he is able to farm that much more efficiently than Dream in comparison. So he's closing the gap a little bit.
Does he have the same backup though, right? They do almost have Solar Crest at least done on the Snapfire, so that'll be nice. No blink yet on Yamich, but they will get an Arcane Rune for Rebel. And he's level 15, he's got Kaya too. Pretty good moment for the Storm Spirit.
No, definitely a good fight to be had here.
And they see Afterlife too. These deep wards that they placed earlier, it might get them some kills here. No one scouts it.
He's being careful, he knows there's a lot behind him.
And he taunts him. Gotta love that Void Spirit taunt. And now an Aghanims for no one. So fights, if he's able to get these blanket silence, now it's hard for the Storm. Even for Timbersaw, the support's also a lot more vulnerable. Soulbind, as well as just like the Phantom and this other silence coming out from Void Spirit, it might trip up the fights a lot before they have any BKBs. Winstrike might have to be a little careful fighting into no one right now.
Yeah, Dream as well, having the Basher done, so an extra little bit of catch that might cause issues for the cause, especially the Storm and Timber if they're trying to break away.
Even takes the health talent on the Lifestealer too, so look at his durability. 20 armor, 2400 HP with the heal and sustain as they're in.
They're going to try and start off the action. They get the jump in onto Yamich. Yamich is trying to take that fancy embrace off. The little shredder being used to get those extra hits in to remove the silence. See Dream. And it's going to come in and on the backlines. Dream, he needs help. He's going to get it. Immersion's in with the tether. Turns gets the bash off now, going over towards them. They've got the Soulbind looking down the two of them. Dracho's going to go down. Jump over from Afterlife. He finds the Who's-Stop connection onto the Timber Sword. Cheshire Cat trying to chain away, but the bash is in. A Dream, the rest of them, they're looking for the other kills. They want to try and ignore the Timber Sword, take down the easier targets. Dream's charging down Pantomem with the Ink Swirl. They'll be able to close the gap, get the stun off. Panto gets taken out. Yamich, he'll be the next target here if Dream can find him.
He's got his blink.
He's going to be able to,
should be all right.
To be fine here. They won't search any further. Dream actually just TPing back, going to look to resume farming. I mean, they're of course going to be happy with that. Again, another situation where they're taking out this Sven. And they're not getting punished other than the kill on no one, but yeah, Dream's game continues to be perfectly fine. He's out and the farm continues for him while Sven sits at the sidelines.
And you can tell he's just perfectly fine on the Lifestealer there too. The IO coming in with the mech, this crazy sustain that pushes him over. No one does make a little bit of a mess up overextending, which I think Winstrike should be quite happy and quite fortunate with too, with the way that that fight was looking. Yeah, they need BKBs. Both the Storm and the Sven now before this next fight, they need the BKB or they will just keep getting smashed. Too much silence, too much control. And Cheshire Cat's just getting ignored in a lot of the fights. He got like so bound up and then they just left him to do whatever as they chase the rest of the heroes.
Well, towards the Roche maybe here, SM Gambit.
This is a good force. I don't think Winstrike's ready to fight. Yeah, without BKBs, like there's just no way that they can take this head-on fight unless they do some massive outplay.
SM Gambit. They're holding strong in the pit. What can Winstrike do to try and push them away? They know they're in there. Maybe look for a steal with Rebel if he times it right. In fact, no one. He's actually going to start the action first. They make the jump with the Astro Step. Looking at the backlines. He gets the silence out with the Pulse. They're focusing Yamich. See the zip in from Rebel on the backline stream. He's able to find his way over towards Dracho. As they control him with the Yules, the rest of Winstrike trying to swing around to help out Dracho. Throw out the stun onto no one. Yules control onto Dream, but they can keep on pushing on. They'll take down Sven yet again. It's a great kisses from the side here from Pantomem. Actually enough to set up to get the four of them, as Pantomem may have just saved the fight. He absolutely has. They get the cleanup. Triple kill for Cheshire Cat as Panto, perfect position. They couldn't get anyone on top of him. As his setup there with that amount of damage gives enough confidence for them to just keep on fighting and turn the entire team fight around.
And that's pre-BKB that they're able to take that fight. Just everyone, I want to see it again, they all just hugged. Everyone on top of each other, like 4-man Whirling Death, 4-man Chakram. That was kind of the only dream situation that Winstrike could hope for in the fight, of just overextending, just focusing too much on the Sven. Rebel just able to do everything that he wants inside the fight, and like you said, the kiss is perfect. They put so much focus on this Sven.
They do. They just have both of their cores trying to bring down Duracho. In fact, all three now. Afterlife jumping in as well, but there they are. So they get caught in the combo. Cheshire Cat and Pantomem's damage flying in. Back in action though, Cheshire Cat. Back in the game, and he's dead. He is dead. They did, of course, finish off Roshan. Winstrike. Aegis on Rebel.
It's still a huge window. Like they got Roche in a position that they probably shouldn't have because of the state of not having BKBs into all these silences and control. Storm is level 18 with BKB, with Arcane Rune, with Aegis. And one of the best heroes that you can possibly have to carry it. And the Sven now pretty much has BKB too. So the fights now for them will be a lot easier to approach.
It's going to be much more difficult for no one to start the fights the way he has previously, just jumping in and trying to get that initial setup. The cores are going to be ready. And now, 3k up Winstrike, closing that gap. Dream may still be at the top. The rest of the core starting to fall behind, as you see Afterlife. Certainly his farm has slowed down completely.
Yeah, not going to be able to do the same thing as he did as an Elder Titan. He's just the control and the buff ups for the Lifestealer, who now is level 18 too. He doesn't quite have his Satanic done, but I think he wants this just for the Dispel in particular versus the annoying Orchid that will be coming out always. But is that going to give him enough damage? Because Sven, as we said, Dyrachyo starting to catch back up. Same thing with Rebel. He's having a hell of a series, honestly, Rebel, even though they lost that last game, like we said. 5-1-7 this time on the Storm, too.
Let's see if he can close up the victory this time round. As you said, he did pretty much everything he could in that last game. No doubt
he's definitely a man to watch out for in a lot of these games for Winstrike. He is a standout.
I mean, ASM Gambit, do they want to try and fight whilst the Aegis is up on Winstrike, or?
No, I think if they can look for pickoffs because they have relocate, but it's Winstrike constantly hunting them right now.
Damn, Rebel straight in. A big zip here as he tries to get aggressive down around the bottom lane. Merchant and Dreams keeping it hidden in the trees, so Cheshire Cat's going to hunt them down.
They feel so much stronger because BKBs, they're just not at risk of getting caught now with the 2 frontline heroes. They don't have to worry so much about that annoying Void Spirit, annoying Inkswell stun combo from Centaur. As Gambit, they just have to kind of dodge for some time here until that Aegis does get reclaimed, but gives Winstrike so much time to catch up. Dyrachyo, he's fully recovered.
Now we see Dream trying to get the Satanic done. Do you like this, or do you feel he could have done with going for a bit more aggression of his build, getting some more damage online?
I kind of wanted him to go for more damage. I actually wanted like the Scotty, something like that, so he can chase through these BKBs now that you know they're at. It's a more defensive posture. It's him trying to dispel annoying Orchids and stuff like that. But is that going to be the solution now at this point, now that you're starting to fall behind? I think you probably do want some way to deal with those BKBs besides just a Basher.
And especially having the Halberd and Invasion on Cheshire Cat. As she said at the start, it was going to be a good game for Timber. It's really getting to that point where it's going to be very, very hard, if not just impossible, for them to bring down Timbersaw in the fights.
They'll just have to dance around him. They have to go for every other hero and then focus on the Timbersaw. But we saw, that can also be a problem. Cheshire Cat can just delete heroes if they do just forget about him for too long. Level 19, he has got the Flamethrower.
I'm taking these towers without any response now from ASM Gambit. They know it's tough to turn up and do anything about these pushes from Winstrike.
They're reloading though. They saw an opportunity when they're split, but Winstrike quickly collapsed on top of it.
And Cheshire Cat just knowing he can stand here at the front. They're never going to be making a jump onto him. As Dream is very close to having the Satanic complete.
Okay, and he does find an Elven Tunic, so Elven Tunic, and when he gets to 20 talent, that evasion will be a bit annoying for the Sven to deal with, because he's never wants to build toward that MKB, as we said earlier. Oh, he just blocked his Ancient Cap. Oh, that feels bad, Dream. And he's spotted down here. They have full vision of the life stealer at the moment.
I mean, they're going to keep pushing on top, and they're hunting in the trees, and they'll be able to find him. Soneko, he's caught. Really starting to fall apart here a little bit, ASM Gambit. As Winstrike, they're just making all the moves, taking all the objectives. Getting that roast out of Aegis was huge for them, as it's absolutely just put them straight in the lead now.
Yeah, I mean, winning a fight pre-BKBs versus all of Gambit's timings was absolutely instrumental for them.
I mean, they're just going to push the high ground. Yeah, what do you do? How do you stop this? They're going to try. After immediately getting silenced as he jumps in. He gets the Lotus off. See, Dream tries to jump in with the heals to help out. That fire does get put to a stop as no one's able to jump to the back lines with the silence. Rebel committing with BKB on Soneko. Soneko is going to be fine, but no one will be. They get the control onto the Void Spirit. Dream getting healed up by Immersion, but does he actually have the damage? The Inkswell Stone will go off onto the three of them. They're focusing the Sven. They are able to take him out. Dyrachyo goes down. Yamich, he's running with the Spire Legs, but he won't be able to escape. He also falls. Cheshire Cat's able to get in and cut down Afterlife. See if they can bring down Cheshire Cat. Silence in place. And Rebel, he's jumping back in on the backlines. He's been able to get in over towards the IO. They turn the silence. Rebel's actually going to end up dying for that attempt. Panto as well will fall. A triple kill for Dream, as I mean, it cost them a couple of buybacks, but they hit back very hard against Winstrike there. Winstrike losing a lot on that attempt from them to try and break the set of racks. The racks stay up. ASM Gambit are able to defend.
Rebel just gives his life. He jumps in trying to get a kill on a support, but just dies. quick Orchid, quick removal by Afterlife with that Lotus Orb kind of turns everything around, resets the positioning of the fight. No one gets completely annihilated from the chain stun, but it does allow Dream to kind of clean up inside of the fight, just hitting absolutely everyone perfectly. Afterlife gets a good setup stun as we're back in the game.
Back in action, Cheshire Cat. He's got to be careful here. He got the 4 of them going on to him. They've got the bashes. He's going to be able to get up to the high ground.
Oh! The halberd, it saves him.
Well, I mean, that was very, very close there. Yamage. He's going to be able to catch the Snako here on the way out, and with the snowball, they're chasing in. They've got a stampede from the Remnant as well. Actually does hold back Dyrachyo. Shards are going to miss. They're controlling him. Afterlife, no, they're going to jump back over towards him, but the cookie's in. Over towards Afterlife. BKB's out. They're coming onto the center. They'll take him down. Afterlife falls. So Dyrachyo can get more here with the BKB. God Strength. He's looking to Immersion. Controlled by the snowball. They hit for 2. Railball's ready to dive in for the backlines. Catches Snako here on the retreat. Glimmer Cape, is it going to save him from the soul burn damage? It won't. Dust is out. Cheshire Cat gets the kill.
Right back the other way. Rebel, very low on mana, but a great chase forward, just getting all these kills. Afterlife they're trying to save Snako there, and they actually get themselves triple. 3 heroes dead because of it. Just Stampede trying to bail him out. And back straight up the top, Dyrachyo. We'll be able to claim it.
Yeah, this time around, ASM Gambit, they won't have the defense to push back. As they might get more than just the one set. The mid lane also getting pushed in by Winstrike. Dream, what's the move? He's going to start cutting creep waves, but they've already got a couple coming in, so Winstrike, they're not going anywhere. They'll push on.
The flamethrower back up in 2 seconds. They will go Rebel. Whoopsie.
Oh, he was a little scared. The Afterlife's actually able to get in and get the stun onto the 2 of them. Snowball and Cookie out of the side. They're trying to get out now. Cheshire Cat and Yamach still on the front lines. They'll come in over towards the center. No one jumps across with the Astral Step. He's got the damage to take down Yamach. Yamach falls. So they can get the rest out there. Dream's chasing. Gonna go for the TP. Anything to cancel it? There isn't. Cheshire Cat makes it away, but they got what they came for. The full set of racks top and the melee racks mid. Only losing Yamach for it. They'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, huge hit. No one has to be careful with his life since he did have to use the buyback earlier on, but a big hit from Winstrike just turning it back. As Roche, about a minute left on that one. Dream was still seeing he's super powerful, but they are kiting him around quite a lot. So he has queued up that Scotty as we kind of expected he would do versus the BKBs and that Timber, and does feel like he needs it. He really needs to carry this game pretty hard right now, it's feeling, as no one is just getting focus fired. They're sticking on to this poor Void Spirit so much. No one's gone for the BKB now, so we'll have some at least defensive measures to cover himself.
Yeah, for sure, he's just not having the chance at all in these fights. One step in the wrong place and just getting blown up. You know, this fan's certainly hurting. If they can set up for Dyrachyo to close up on his targets, and last 3 times with Rebel, Yamach's initiation, they certainly have.
And they're smoking. They're looking for no one again.
Oh. Afterlife scouting things up from the high ground.
Oh,
Afterlife giving some good information, Dream. He's going to get halberded. You see the jump for the backlines. Rebel's gone for Snako. Snako's able to pop the charge. He's out, actually. The Stampede's pop. Rebel's now, he's got the one that's got to be careful. The BKB's pop, but they're linked together by the Soulbind. They're in onto the Storm Spirit. Phantom Embrace Silence comes in as well, followed up by the Pulse. Dream, he's on top of the Sven. Dyrachyo, he's in trouble. They'll get back in, they'll take him down. Dream gets the 1, he gets the 2. He's over towards the Storm as well. Rebel goes down. Now they're looking for Cheshire Cat, and he's been left behind. Everybody else is dead. The Bloodstone Heal buys him time, but the chase is there. No one closes the gap with the Astral Step. They've got multiple silences to lock him down. The bash is out. Cheshire Cat still living, but the Remnant placed perfectly, almost predicting the angle he tried and Timber chain out at, as this time it's ASM Gambit that team-wipe Winstrike.
BKB from no one was the absolute difference maker, and great positioning, as you said. Afterlife up on the high ground. Where was Snapfire ult, right? He just completely sat on Snapfire, so she couldn't actually walk into the fight at all. She was completely zoned out, and no one with his BKB. He pulls the attention of absolutely everybody on the side of Winstrike. He controls them in effectively like 9 seconds of his BKB. He controlled the whole Winstrike team. Lifestealer shows up. Their BKBs are down on the Storm, and Sven, he just goes to town.
Hey, you ready to see this again? Sven taking them down one by one. As soon as this sort of comes to an end, and the fact that Dream just goes completely unchecked in the team fight.
Yep.
They just cannot deal with this Lifestealer staying consistently at full HP. It's just never a target that once the fight starts, anybody on Winstrike is going to feel good prioritizing. He's just too strong.
And that was That was pre-Eye of Scotty. So now for the next fight, he's even stronger on top of it all. And now no one has his own protection. You know, as we said, the BKB last time, now he's got a cheese too. ASM Gambit maybe have found their footing now after that last big fight. Dream, an absolute monster with the IO behind him.
That is just huge.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They come out with the smoke here, Winstrike, but what kind of jump can they make? And Rebel's going to try. He's found Sneko. Coming with the tether. Snake's going to be healed up and he's going to be saved. They get the Lotus. They've got the control as well. That's fed into the Who's-Stop. They make the jump over towards Dracho. Dracho is able to get the BKB off the leash. It's just ruining this Storm's game. Relbull has to zip out to safety. Immersion getting healed up here by the Infest. They're trying to keep their eye alive, but the eye will still fall. Dream. Used up for now. Afterlife moving in position, looking for the stun control. Yamish is going to get bounced to the side by the Cookie. Dream and no one. They're chasing down Dracho. They're going to be able to buy him a bit of time here with the Invis, but the sentries dropped down by Sneko. They'll continue to push on Relbull. He's caught by the Remnant. Relbull's going to go down. They've lost the Storm. Dream's ready to turn over towards Yamish and Pantomam. Panto will buy time for himself with the Ghost Scepter. No buyback available on Relbull though. He cannot get back in the fight. Panther's going to try for the TP out, but they've got the stuns to stop it. Another kill for ASM Gambit. There's now a good bit of window. 60 seconds, no Storm.
And the second fight now, where I see the leash, it just sticks on like the perfect target. It gets onto the Storm Spirit the second time. The first fight it got on the Storm and the Tusk, so the Tusk couldn't snowball save. Some, I mean, phenomenal RNG perhaps with the secondary leash, but just still sticking on Rebel. And Rebel tries to go save Dyrachyo, and he walks into an Aether Remnant and ends up getting killed from the chain stun.
But they're struggling massively in these last few fights. Relbull just getting completely controlled, even through the BKB, and now Dream's up to the high ground. And they still have that Aegis.
Too big.
How do you stop this Lifestealer? Just taunting in front of them.
All the buffs, Overcharge plus Solar Crest with the mech and the Holy Locket behind him. Even a Paladin Sword on the IO to boot for even more healing.
They just can't get in on him. He's taking down the red. They'll have Relbull up in a few seconds. We'll see if that changes much, but the last few fights it hasn't. They're trying to get on the backliners again. They're looking for Immersion. Jump in with the silence. Relbull with a big zip. He's able to get the pull back onto the eye. Can they burst through Immersion in time? Immersion getting low, but no, he's fine. Immersion's able to step out of the side. Relbull's got to back off. Again, he's committed with the BKB, but he has to use it to get away. Dyrachyo jumps in. Will manage to take down Immersion, but now he's committed. Dream, no one. They're looking to continue to keep the silence. No one's up to the high ground. Stops the ultimate here from Snapfire, but they lost Dyrachyo. Sven goes down. No one, Dream, they're still full HP. Relbull's going to jump back in, but he's got to be so careful. There's no BKB available on Relbull anymore. It's still on cooldown. They'll lose Yamage. Relbull cannot fight into this any longer.
Dyrachyo commits, so he does get the kill on the IO, but he jumped in, no BKB, nothing else, just the Godstring. He two-shots the IO, to be fair, does finish him off, but now he's dead for such a long time. And Sneko finds himself in that double bounty. Rebel.
Big aggressive zip here onto no one. He does not do enough damage though. And his BKB is still on cooldown.
He's dead.
I mean, that's one of those plays that hurts a bit. You know, that's a play, definitely some frustration fueling that sort of move.
Oh man, it's too hard for them to fight into this lifesteal, man. Dream is just absolutely immortal. Like, all these buffs too, the Inkswell dispels, just everything coming into play. The IO almost survives during all of it. He doesn't get the cheese off, like we said, because he got two-shotted, but I do want to point out this build. I don't remember he did this the first game too, but just dodging spirits. He actually just puts all his points in stats. I didn't point that out earlier, but kind of a funny approach here from the IO. Just tanking himself up.
Yeah, I guess, you know, very selfish. No, wants to make sure he's not accidentally like taking CS, or no, he's not going to be hitting any creeps. It's just all about, you know, being there, being alive here for your teammates.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't actually notice that earlier. I just was more focused on Dream cleaning up and everything.
Well, you feel like we don't see any other IOs do this.
No, I don't think I've seen any support IOs doing this, but it's clever. Look how he's unbelievably tanky because of it. He still dies because he gets focused so hard, but that's cool. Very cool approach. I love stats as well. All of us Dota 1 players, we used to love our stats, so.
Oh, they're ready to push in. Relbull's up in a few seconds.
Aegis getting reclaimed in 1 second.
Okay. No one. They're actually going to start things on in Cheshire Cat. They also get the control onto Dratch at the side. Cheshire Cat starting to back off. Centaur's going to be focused first. They bring down the Centaur with no struggles. Relbel is being leashed again. He can't get out. Relbel goes down. Dead for 80. A tip's coming out as well from Seneko. He knows that these soul binds are just ruining the Storm's game. Dream's pushing in. Dracho, he's put the constrict, but he's got to run, and he can't. The bash is there. Dracho goes down. Both cores out of the game. No buybacks for Winstrike as they're getting forced right back towards the fountain. Dream's charging in, setting up for the Inkswell stun onto the two of them. Yamich and Cheshire Cat fall.
Damn.
So they're buying
Dream is
back.
popping off.
I mean, you said he had to play without the mistakes of game one to take this one away, and he certainly has. No mistakes to be had here from Dream, as he's played it perfectly. As they're fighting right up towards the fountain, they know there's nothing that Winstrike can do to turn this around with their two main cores dead, without any measure of getting back into the action. As 5 heroes dead, no buybacks.
The leashes. My God, that last one, Cheshire Cat walked in to try to bail Rebel out, and it actually just got him leashed and killed. So a couple of these leashes just absolutely instrumental to the win here from Gambit. But Dream, what a performance on the Lifestealer. Actually ends up going perfectly. Satan, his build actually ends up being excellent, and no one being really disruptive, except for that like 1 or 2 fights that they had around Ancients. No one does a great job of just being so annoying. He just jumps on 3 or 4 heroes, keeps silencing and disrupting the backlines.
Yeah, excellent stuff. 15-1-16 on the Lifestealer, and just backed up perfectly. So many fights as well. I feel we saw, Relb, he knew that he had to deal with Seneko. He's trying to get on him. He pretty much gets the jump on him every time, but a lot of the times, Immersion just helping his support, bro, getting him with the tether, keeping Seneko alive long enough so he gets his spells out and just causes so many issues for Relbel in those last few team fights. This Storm just, he couldn't play at all, and it wasn't as if he itemized bad or was making rough moves. I mean, maybe obviously that big zip onto the Void Spirit, but by then it was already kind of falling apart. It just seemed impossible. I think, if Relbel's ever playing Storm again, he's probably not doing it if there's a Grimstroke in the game.
No, Seneko, he played it really well too. With a couple of his glimmers, they didn't have the vision in the back, and he actually, I think I saw 1 or 2 fights, he Inkswells himself, glimmers himself, so then they dust, the Inkswell pops, it dispels the dust, and then the Storm's running around like, oh god, where'd it go? So yeah, some nice individual plays for sure from Gambit, but overall this game, I mean, this series was super chaotic.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking a little cleaner, more clean overall for SM Gambit, at least by the end of this second game. As with that victory, the series, it's theirs. AS Monaco Gambit will get the win here, 2-0 against Winstrike.
Yes, they do. It looked a little dicey there for a moment, but AS Monaco Gambit pull through. They win their first series here. The second season of the Eastern European DPC. We'll talk about that more and get ourselves an interview all after the break. With a last pick Timbersaw, Winstrike got themselves a pretty significant lead, especially as we're going to see here. Being able to take the top lane of Barracks and half of mid as well, it looked like Winstrike was a shoo-in to be able to finish this game out and push it to a game 3. But AS Monaco Gambit held strong. The Lifestealer pulled through, but more importantly, Kyle Dream himself as a player pulled through as a hard carry for AS Monaco Gambit.
I was actually thinking the same thing, actually. Yeah, I was hoping you'd bring up the Dream point, but yeah,
He
played
said-
really well.
Kyle.
No, if I just jump in and, join Cap right now. Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, we're Team Dream.
Yeah, Team Dream.
We like
team.
Dream hard carry.
We like
Me
him.
too.
Yeah, what about you?
The Lifestealer, you talking about Medusa, I'm saying Lifestealer all day, and Dream proves exactly
Don't say
why.
about himself.
You think I forgot that, T-Gov? Trying to... Goddamn Benedict Arnold, you don't even know who that is.
No.
Well, I mean, the Lifestealer did look really good, right?
did.
Despite the fact he was matched up against the Timbersaw, Dream really performed here.
The item build was key. The Maelstrom, the ideal for scaling, and also anti-Timbersaw in a way, and just straight up beast mode. Like, he just... There's no way you win that game if Lifestealer doesn't have such an obscene net worth advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it wasn't just the Lifestealer that managed to win this game, of course. He had a great team backing him. They had a lot of synergy, and Purge is going to break down all that synergy for us.
Thanks, Cap. Yeah, Lifestealer was really important for being able to frontline for his team, but he also gave up a lot of damage, which was nice. Timbersaw kind of offering similar things, but Lifestealer just felt like he did more to deal with the enemy backline generally. And the other thing that was having the IO pairing worked out pretty effectively. Basically, all three of their cores are pretty survivable, but pairing the IO on top of that just means that the abundance of lifesteal is great. Sven, as a super high damage hero, didn't feel as good because Lifestealer was in the front line, as was Centaur. So we're going to see that fight time and time again for fights. Lifestealer overcharge, blowing up buildings. Basically, it gives either no one or Centaur the option to initiate, and then support sit on the back line over here, trying to stay out of danger. While in the meantime, you've got Snapfire over to the left, who's looking for a good ulti, but it's very difficult for that to happen because Lifestealer's positioned so far in front of his whole team. And that way, if they do finally go on him, watch what happens. Io comes and says, okay, time to bring out the big guns. They give him an out. They use Ink Swell. It does a lot of damage. And at this point, Sven is force in the fight is pretty much used up almost entirely. They do end up winning part of this fight, but here's another example. Centaur ends up getting gone on as he initiates here, gets the Lotus Orb off, almost dies. Here's the Infest. We saw that heal so many times. That was Infest plus the IO one as well. And look at this, being focused by 3 heroes right now. Let's watch his HP. He's fine. He's completely fine. No one was a little bit more vulnerable in the back line. Suneko did a great job staying alive multiple times, but this whole time, he's up front doing a ton of damage. Satanic, pretty cool item build as well. Lots of damage. Once again, he's just buying time for his team to do Ink Swells to slowly work down their opponents as for Sven to become more of a liability. And then finally, one of the bigger fights here. Centaur on the back line here, aiming for the Snapfire to make sure that damage doesn't come out. And here in the front line again, Suneko tries to stay alive. Lifestealer sitting in the wave once again, slapping heroes. In this case, I've lost him. There he is, right in the middle, of course, slapping heroes once again. Just doing a great job, being tanky, almost impossible to kill with his itemization, and eventually working down their opponents once their BKBs were gone.
That's right. It wasn't just the Lifestealer show, but with Purge's demonstration, we could see just how well both Immersion and Suneko were able to play on the supports, on the outside, giving all those spells, playing back and forth, making sure that they weren't the first ones to be gone on, and lasting throughout the fight. And that's a very big, important part of that game, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look after that high ground defense, if you look at every fight after that, it just felt like Storm was always soulbound in the fight. So yeah, a lot of props to Suneko, one of the kind of the hidden MVPs in this game, with the cores playing so well.
Yep.
And of course, who's been a solid performance for AS Monaco starting from last season was no one who we've got here in an interview. I don't believe we have video, but we should be having him just on audio. No one, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Do you hear me?
Awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. You sound
Nice.
great.
I'm sorry for camera. It's just turned off and it doesn't work for some reason.
Don't worry about it. We just want to be able to talk to you. So that's the most important part. Congratulations on that win against Winstrike. I want to start off that game 2 draft. Did you guys were you guys prepared for the Timbersaw, or from our perspective, we kind of thought maybe you guys forgot that hero was in the pool?
No, that was all planned.
Really?
It was
Okay.
planned. Yeah.
So you
We
guys
know
felt
that
like
gonna-
you could beat it?
It's only the one hero who can save their draft, but it doesn't work if you just play well at
Well-
some point.
You guys played really well. I also wanted to ask you about your matchup against Rebel, who had a really good series himself. Both you guys were solid rocks for your team and really trying to carry through. How'd you feel about the matchup against him as a player?
I mean, like, I feel that there's not such a big difference against who you're playing. Like, it could be me, Niche, Thompson, or Rebel, because it's a new draft and, I mean, like, new patches. And, I mean, like, he's good. He has a good performance, like, in the past matches. I saw it. And, but it's not a big difference right now, the nickname or this one. Because you have, like, 4 or 6 runes before level min 5, and you're just always full HP.
Right. We've actually had some conversations about that. Do you feel like this patch right now, does it make the mid lane a bit less skill intensive because you have like so many options to be able to stay in lane thanks to all these runes?
That's 100% true, because like it's you have like the last pick of the draft, and you just cannot counter the enemy heroes because he can just go for bottle, buys, I mean, like, grab some runes, and he will be the same net worth as you, even if you're Monkey King against Void Spirit, because that's just how it works right now. So you just cannot counter the enemy hero, and it's really hard to draft because last pick is not like good enough for this patch.
Okay, I've got some analysts who are here on the desk as well.
I just wanted to know, so you played with Solo for a long time. What's it like with Seneko as a captain?
Of course, it's a big difference. I mean, like, I've played with Solo like 4 or 5 years, and all of my games was with him, and now it's just different how the way people think. I mean, like, Seneko has different approaches to see at the game, for sure, and different calls. Like, I can't, like, talk some from inside because it's... I just can't do it. But it's just good, I think, to play with the others right now.
Gotcha.
Okay, so starting off the DPC season, you've unfortunately already lost to VP, Na'Vi, and Spirit. What do you think was the biggest problem, or kind of the biggest lesson that you've learned after those 3 series?
The biggest lesson, that's hard to say in English. Just not to be scary, I guess, in the games. Just make your moves and don't give a, like...
I get you.
And just play in your own game. That's the main goal, what we have to achieve right now.
All right. Well, thank you, Nolan, so much for doing this interview with us in English. It was super insightful, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks.
It's a great interview. I love that he's talking about the mid lane. It feels like that's kind of on no one's wish list, right? That he's supposed to be one of those super dominant mid laners, so it's going to affect you more when the mid lane's easier for your opponent.
From what he said, though, it's like the idea that the mid lane last pick doesn't have value, but I take that as more if you can leave your last pick to be a side lane and you just sacrifice your mid, now you're opening up your draft a lot more. It's like, okay, how do you counter the side lane now, because mid's so easy?
Totally agree.
And we saw that in the draft, right? Storm Spirit, Void Spirit in the first one, too.
Storm's the best example. You can first to it now because it can't lose mid. In the past, like, you could body a Storm, but now it's like, okay, I'll rush bottle. I'll guaranteed get a rune at 2 minutes and at 3 minutes and 4 minutes too, and then I'll go jungle. Easy.
Well, AS Monaco Gambit did manage to get their first win of the second season. So let's take a look at those standings. They're no longer at the bottom. They're 1 and 3. Extremum is going to take that place instead. Of course, there are 2 other teams who only have that 1 win, both PugChamp and Unique. And looking forward to seeing Virtus.Pro versus Na'Vi. That's going to be happening on Sunday. VP still undefeated, 3-0, and Na'Vi 2-1, and very desperate for a win if they want to be able to get outside of that wildcard slot, which we've had some conversations with. Wildcards, you don't want to be there.
No, definitely not.
No, not at all. But also, I like the fact that, if Na'Vi can beat VP, it opens up for bigger, maybe potential tiebreakers. And then the flip side, VP beating Na'Vi, now we're looking at Gambit potentially being able to try and claw their way back up and then getting a tiebreaker against Na'Vi. So either way, it's just looking exciting no matter what the result of that series is.
All right. Kyle, you any last thoughts before we close out? And
Well, I'd love to take a look at the upcoming games we got on Sunday. PuckChamp versus Spirit. I think that'll be pretty Spirit favored. They've been looking unstoppable so far. The easy meat of the schedule is available in VP Navi. The Battle of Two Titans, that is not nearly as close as I thought it would be.
No, yeah, it's not really
And if
a
you really
Classico
want some
anymore,
final
yeah.
words, the reason for that, boys and girls, is because of karma. Little known fact. You can't do your teammates dirty and then expect to come to the DPC and dominate. It doesn't work.
all right, that message is brought to you by Kyle. And this tournament is ESL 1, and it's all powered by Intel. Good night to everybody. We'll see you guys. We'll be back on